Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and beyond. Welcome to the Overwatch Pretenders Lower Division Grand Finals between Corvus Gravity and the Agile Squids. I am Chunk. With me here
Good
tonight is
evening, ladies, gentlemen.
Solidus as my co-caster. How you doing tonight, Solidus?
Hey, Chunk, I'm doing pretty good. I think we're going to be in for a great match tonight. This is Seed 1 going against Seed 3, and these two have a history. Corvus Gravity being the only ones to contest Agile Squids on their way to these finals.
Yeah, you bring up a very interesting storyline there. Talking about the Agile Squids first, I think, because that is the last team I casted. I was able to cast their semifinal match against No Sleep Till Platinum, who did put up a valiant fight against the Squids, but again, the Squids have only dropped two maps this entire season of Overwatch Pretenders. And like you said, those two maps were to Corvus Gravity. What do you think is going to be the difference maker here? Obviously, Corvus Gravity lost 3-2 last time they faced the Agile Squids, so they definitely need a little something here. This is a 7-map series, remember, so it'll be the first team to 4 here. So it'll be 4-0, it could be 4-3, it could be whatever, you know? So, what do you think, Solid, is going to be the game changer here tonight? Do you think Corvus is going to be able to pull this out? And what do you think would be responsible for that if they did?
Yeah, I actually tuned into that stream that you mentioned over on the Overwatch Pretenders YouTube channel. So a little bit of a plug in there. But I think the biggest thing that's going to have to happen for Corvus to excel in this match and defeat Agile Squids is to shut down King. Because as I said, I watched that stream and the King, he was all over it. He was playing Pharah very, very well. Couldn't get a shutdown on him. And if Corvus Gravity just lets King do what he wants and takes map control, in fact, if Corvus Gravity isn't able to hold the entirety of the map and shut down those flanks, Agile Squids with King and Marcus are really going to be able to stomp them because those are probably the two key players. It's the DPS. You know, some teams, they rely on their tank. Some teams, sometimes it's their Ana, right? You got to find the carrier. And that goes with any kind of competitive game that you play, you know, when we're out there doing just solo queue, right? Who's the carry? Well, in this case, Agile Squid has Marcus and the King, so that's who they're going to have to shut down if Corvus Gravity wants to take home the victory.
Yeah, and you talk about Marcus and the King. They obviously play those opposite DPS roles. We saw Marcus excel on that Widowmaker, on that McCree, played a little bit of Hanzo, even pulled out the Torbjorn briefly on Ilios, if I remember correctly. So they have very, I'd say, dynamic hero picks with the King. He was sitting on that Pharah quite a bit with, I believe it was X-Spark. She was busy on that Mercy as well, keeping the King up, helping you to charge that ult really quickly with those damage boosts. So it'll be interesting to see if they employ the same strategy here against Corvus Gravity, or if they're going to respect the hit scan prowess of Gravity a little bit more than they did against No Sleep Till Platinum. We head here into our first map. It's going to be Numbani up first. And what are you expecting to see on Numbani hero pick wise? Maybe let's talk a little bit about the tank lines. I know we've got Jimblo on one side and we have Blue Lunaris for Agile Squids. And then I believe on the other team, it should be Culture and the Wheels on tank.
Yeah, so Nimani tends to be really well for dive, right? It's great to dive up until right around the second point is when you typically see teams switch to brawl meta. However, this is Blue Linares, right? You mentioned him. He does like to play the Reinhardt. That's what I noticed in the last stream, and that's what they're going in with here. They're going with Reinhardt and a D.va. So that's going to allow Jimblo on the D.va for the Agile Squids to contest this high ground, which is really going to help him out against that McCree, right? He's going to be able to dive the McCree. Maybe if the Baptiste is playing high ground, dive the Baptiste. Maybe even take care of Zen if Zen decides to play on an offense. Meanwhile, we got Culture and the Wheels on Corvus Gravity going ahead with a spam meta, right? They got the shield, they got double shield, very easily to burst down this Blue Nars. Now it's just all about what side do they take. Do they take high ground left side? Do they go under the underside? Do they take main? It's really going to depend on their routing here. I'm sorry, for Corvus Gravity, it's going to depend on where they want to hold, which it looks like they're going to hold top right, and that's going to force Agile Squids to take a weird position here and get spammed down.
Yeah, absolutely, it will. They're going to take this first position here. Corvus now up with that Discord orb on him is able to take out Mythical Cat's turret, and the Blue Lunars is going to be the first casualty of the game. Astro dropping down to hit him with that flashbang. Jimbo going to lose mech there as well. This time it's going to be Mythical Cat and Culture. Marcus does even the score a little bit, but he's going to go down quick. Blazing Angel with the fast revive here, and Firehawk Bird taking down Jimbo. That is going to be a quick first push there. It's going to get about half of the point. As we saw, Corvus didn't drop quite quick enough to stop them from getting a tick, but they did win the fight, which was the important part. The King may be looking for a quick kill there off the side, isn't going to find that. What went wrong there, or I guess right, depending on how you look at it for the Agile Squids?
Yeah, so Agile Squids, you know, they took that routing, like I said, they're going to get spammed down, and that's what started to happen. They were smart about it, and they're doing it again right now. So they're taking that underground left side, but they spammed down his shield, and that allowed Corvus Gravity to contest and get the win there.
And they are going to give up another tick here. X-Spark trying to hide under that high ground, gets very low, and she actually manages to escape. Blazing Angel also gets very low, and Culture takes out Blue Lunaris. Hidden Squid going to find the King, who is on that Pharah, maybe not finding as much value as he would like. Just going to stagger out Spark here, and she will die. Jimbo takes a long way down, and that is going to be it for yet another push. But they do come away with another tick. Now 70% to capping the point. They have some ults online.
Yeah, it's important to understand that giving up a tick isn't necessarily a detrimental thing. Now, the King here, he does have his ultimate, that Farah Barrage, coming online, but he's going to have a hard time using it. He's going to have to wait for Culture to drop down, and then maybe he can try to use it, but it's going to be forced. And once again, we saw them go under this, go underneath. They're not taking that route this time, but with these ultimates from Corvus Gravity, it's going to be hard for Agile Squids to take this.
Speaking of those ultimates, using one early to sort of push Blue Lunaris out of the way there. The barrage comes in, though. It's going to find Astro and Hidden Squid. Excellent work there. Mark is going to continue cleaning that up with a pick onto the wheels. Blue Lunaris finally goes down, despite the excellent nano boost from Spark to save him. The King, though, decides it's time to frag out and is going to find 3 more kills on top of it, making a 5K for the King.
Yeah, so it looked like just as Blue Lunaris was going to go down in pretty much the same exact position he was before, he gets nanoed, and Culture had to drop down, and that gave the King a free barrage. So now we're going to be going into this next fight, and ultimate advantage going to be on Agile Squid's side. So this might be an easy second point capture just because so many ults were blown there trying to defend. We do have 3 good supports ults, but I don't know if that'll be enough.
Yeah, and we didn't see the Transcendence come out for that Pharah Barrage. I'm sure Hidden Squid is regretting that just a little bit. The Dragon's going in here, splits the team up. It is going to find Hidden Squid. Astro manages to get Blue Lunaris, who is immediately rezzed by Blazing Angel. The King takes out the Torbjorn turret, and the D.va bomb comes out from Jimbo. It's going to be huge! He finds 4, and it's Astro finding a pick onto Blazing Angel on the way out. Not going to be enough, though, as X-Spark hunts him down and kills him. That is going to be it for this second point, most likely, as it seems like the Squids are just going to be able to walk it in. Now looking at a very nice time bank going into this third point.
Yeah, maybe setting up in the room wasn't quite the smart choice there. You see Culture going ahead, switch to Orion. Setting it up in that room really allowed Blue Lunaris to just walk past the shields and get an easy Earth Shatter off. We saw the Earth Shatter bomb. But on this last fight, I think it's going to kind of stabilize here. This is their...
It will be very important for a stabilize here. We see Wheels take down Blue Lunaris early. He is going to lose his mech as Blazing Angel finds yet another res onto Blue Lunaris, just padding the stats a little bit. Mark is taking that angle on the high ground here, finding ways to get behind the shield. Hidden Squid does take out Jimbo's mech, but the King is going to find Culture with the barrage. Astro strikes back very quickly, though, with a headshot. Mark is going to find Astro in response. Every pick is coming in here so quickly. This fight could go either way. The Wheels does go down before he gets the remake, though, and Lunaris and his team are going to be able to push this point here. The Squids now rolling into this final section. It's going to be tough to contest this point here as Mythical Cat gets pushed off by the Dragons. Going to come in on that May, though. Hidden Squid goes down to Marcus's ult into spawn. Astro always seems to find those kills, though. Does take out Blue Lunaris here. That could be what they need to turn this point. Astro with 2 more kills onto the pharmacy using that Deadeye for good measure. Marcus trying to escape, cannot escape. McCree's Peacekeeper there. That is going to be it for that fight. That stabilize you were talking about, Solid, did come in.
Yeah, it came a little later than I thought it was, and that's all thanks to the King once again clutching it out with that barrage that took out just enough. And the trans ult just came a little bit late, not able to save his team, but they did end up stabilizing, and they're in a really good spot. Now, this point is just at the end of being captured, which gives Corvus Gravity the spawn advantage, right? And that's what they want. We have a beat online, we have the May ult online, so Corvus Gravity looking good going into this next fight.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see exactly how that happens, but a huge shatter comes out after Marcus takes down Culture. Blue Lunaris puts everybody on the ground. The King going to find Astro, and the May ult is going to come out, though. It's going to freeze just about everybody. Lunaris and X-Spark both go down here. Two very important players here for the Agile Squids. Marcus taking out Wheels' mech, but that may not be enough to save this. Marcus also going to find the headshot onto Wheels here. This is a very tough situation, though, still for the Squids. Down their main healer and their main tank. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, as Astro again finding that critical pick onto the King.
Yeah, they don't really... Corvus Gravity doesn't really have to worry about getting a full team wipe on this one just to defend. All they have to do is take down 2 key players, which they did do. But we're already going back into the next fight. They're wasting no time, Agile Squid, to recontest. But again, a lot of good ultimates coming up for Corvus Gravity. Good ultimates coming out for Agile Squid. We'll have to see how they initiate.
Talking about good ultimates, there's the Dragons to initiate, sends it across here. The dueling nanos on the Reinhardts. Blue Lunaris, though, is going to take down Mythical Cat. Jimbo going to find 2, but Astro's going to find 3. He comes right back with a triple with that Deadeye. One of them does get res, though, and Lunaris finds Astro and punishes him for that. The barrage comes in from the King, is going to find 2 picks late in the barrage. Wheels' ult comes out, but he's already dead. That is going to be a cap with over a minute left for the Agile Squids. Very important to have over a minute left in the time bank, Solid.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's really important to have over a minute. It's going to give them another chance to attack. It's going to give them a lot more time. If Corvus Gravity can't finish this one, with any time remaining, then the advantage goes to Agile Squids if there does happen to be another match. And this last fight, though, I want to emphasize how Culture did not swap, right? He was the first one to die, but he did not swap to Hamster, right, to Hammond, and contest with Ball. Had he swapped to Wrecking Ball, he might have been able to hold that one. Because like I said, you don't need a team wipe to be able to defend from that position. You just need enough stall to be able to get your team out there. He didn't swap, and I think it's because Culture thought, hey, I have my Ryan ult online. Maybe I can use that and fight the point and win. But unfortunately, he didn't get out there on time and stall, and I think that was a little bit of a misplay. Just something going into the future, and especially if you're watching, to consider. Sometimes giving up your ultimate is more important if you're able to stall out the point. Because Agile Squids was down, I think, 3 players in that last fight, 2 or 3 players. That could have been stalled out in one.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when we're talking about that minute time bank. The reason that is so important, for those of you who do not know how these map types work, if one team has over a minute and the other team finishes the map as well but does not finish with any time, so if they get held to 0 seconds and cap in overtime, they actually do not get another chance to attack, so the best they can do is a draw. So, going to have to cap with some time left in the bank here if you're Corvus Gravity. We see that Torbjorn come out this time from the King, and we see Blazing Angel and X-Spark on that Baptiste Zenyatta combination. This double shield hold on the high ground here seems to be the move here for teams. Blue Lunaris going to be the first to drop, gets very low, but the Immortality Field comes out, keeps him up there. Blazing Angel still playing on that high ground, putting out a lot of healing. Nobody's gone down yet, though. That Immortality Field is down now, and Culture does get flashed here. The Maywall trying to pin somebody out, doesn't do it, and Marcus just going to come in and find 2 kills. Why not? Jimbo with the DMAC and Blue Lunaris with the cleanup here. That is going to be it for that first push from Corvus, who actually did not manage to get a tick. They do kill X-Spark on the way out, and she is not that far along onto her Transcendence. That may be important, as they probably are just looking to farm May ult as quickly as possible here.
Corvus Gravity is going to want to go in for a dry fight here. All they have is Coalescence. They might get beat online. They'll get Air Shatter online, but Agile Squids is going to have a lot of balls coming online. They're going to have the Baptiste. Oh, they're already going in. They're being super aggressive. Maybe this will be that drive.
Yeah, and talking about drive fights, Hidden Squid immediately with that Coalescence. Again, that's an ult that charges fast, so not necessarily a waste. We see that wall come out onto Marcus. He's going to peek around that wall, though. Not going to find anybody. Does break Culture's shield and subsequently kill him. The Molten Core will come out, but Astro finding that important pick onto Marcus here. Hidden Squid, though, steps in that Torb lava right there. The King going to take out Wheels with that turret, and just find another with the turret, why don't you? Blue Lunaris cleaning things up yet again. That's going to be another very clean fight there for the Agile Squids. They do give up a tick this time, but honestly, not a lot to give up there, considering they only needed 2 ults to win that fight.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that push. They pulled out the Torbalt. They're trying to play in that room in the back of the point, and honestly, if they can just pull out Blue Lunaris' ult, get that supercharger on the ground, and then bait it out, I think they'll be in a great spot to win. They have the Blizzard to contest.
Yes, but talking about contesting point, we see that Deadeye come in from Astro. He gets very low and will not get the beat. It'll be interesting to see if he manages to survive this. Meanwhile, on point, everybody does get the beat, and that May ult comes out to try and freeze the people contesting. X-Spark does come in with the trans, but not before Marcus goes down. A huge shatter comes out here, is protected by the trans off of the rip there, but Hidden Squid with the damage ball, just going to go through, killing everybody, and that's just going to be it for the Agile Squids. A few too many ults for them to deal with there, and they just weren't able to get that Torb ult back online in time, as we see the King at 90%. Going to be interesting to see if he stays on that Torb or switches here, Solid.
Yeah, now's the chance for Corvus Gravity to push up, take space. The ultimate from the King, the Torb on Agile Squids, that's what they were kind of looking out for, right? That's the one that was going to shut him down. All that point contest, just like the May out from Mythical Cat. That same thing, right? That's what's going to shut down. So now, once again, they're going to have to bait out the King's ult and really just take space, bait it out, and they'll probably be able to win easy. Ultimate economy is pretty even right now.
Yes, talking about that even ult economy, the high ground might be the differentiator here, as we see Lunaris, Jimbo, and the rest of the Agile Squids trying to take this high ground. Lunaris is going to have to drop, and the D.va bomb comes up. It's a little bit misplaced, though, by the wheels. It's not going to find anybody, but Astro is able to take out Blue Lunaris. That's an important pick for them to continue moving. Marcus strikes back with a kill onto Astro, however, and the ults are starting to come freely now for the Agile Squids. They're trying to hold this, doing everything they can to do so. Those picks onto Hidden Squid and the Culture seem like they're going to be enough to do just that, as Corvus Gravity now forced to reconsider this push a little bit.
Yeah, the King, he put on his ultimate, and that was the end of the fight. Really, if you think about it, without that Torborn ult, Corvus Gravity was going to take that point. Blue Lunaris on the Orisa dropped down a little bit early from Agile Squid side and was punished by Culture and Astro. So now there's no Torb to worry about. They just got to worry about this high ground. Blue Lunaris already on the ground. Just rush in there. They got the Lucio and start swinging, and we got an easy victory.
Yeah, talking about that easy victory, it doesn't seem to come yet as Culture gets very low. The beat is going to come out and save them from that Sigma ult. Astro with another double kill with that Deadeye, finding so much value with that ultimate. X-Spark's Transcendence comes out far too late as Astro finds another kill onto Marcus there. It is just, it's stall game now for the Squids. It's not going to be enough though. Mythical Cat and Wheels cleaning things up on the point. That's going to be Corvus Gravity walking now into third point with that 3-minute time bank and a couple ultimates on their side.
I really like to see this from Corvus Gravity. They found their win condition, right? Take the high ground. They got halted off. Granted, they did get halted off, but just that pure aggression from taking the high ground and using that Lucio speed was enough to kind of falter Agile Squids. And just that falter, just that little bit of misstep, opened it up for Corvus Gravity to take that win. And a great Deadeye to really help it out.
Yes, another great Deadeye. Culture comes in with a great Earth Shatter. This ult usage here is looking great, as that's just going to be a absolute wipe down here for the side of Corvus Gravity. Agile Squids not looking too agile when they're laying on the ground after that Earth Shatter. That is a tough situation to come out of your spawn into. Excellent Earth Shatter there from Culture. Blue Lunaris just couldn't get that shield up where it needed to be. Very tough to block on the Orisa, but Astro and Marcus both finding picks early. The King and Astro going down here. Culture going to take out X-Spark. Mythical Cat finding that important kill onto Blue Lunaris there. That's also going to be Wheels as a result, finding Blazing Angel with that D.Va bomb. It is only Jimbo now stalling on that Wrecking Ball you were talking about. Now it's going to be Tracer and Lucio on point here. It is just a stall game at this point. Numbers are here for Corvus Gravity, but Lunaris comes back in, starting to put out a lot of damage with that hammer. Hidden Squid and Mythical Cat finding important kills there, though. Oh, they're going to get off the point! That's going to be a... Oh my gosh, that is not good there. Both tanks sort of just back off the point there when they didn't need to, and they allow Corvus Gravity to capture the point.
Yes, I love seeing this from Corvus Gravity, that aggression, right? We still saw, at one point, Agile Squids, Jim Blue, I believe, swapped, Jim Blue swapped to a Zarya. Blue Lunaris staying on the run, or he made a swap. Jim Blue swapped to Zarya. Regardless, there was a Zarya in play at one point. Not quite a good synergy between Zarya and Orisa. And then we also saw Ryan come out. We saw the hamster come out. So they made a lot of switches. They're doing the right thing. Eventually, they ended up on ball, which is what you need to do, try to stall the point, right? But if you think about it, as long as Corvus Gravity just maintained pressure, they had Lucio, right? As long as they just maintain pressure, maintain speed, and just push into the double shield, they're going to win because double shield can't deal with a Ryan swinging in your face. You have to back up and you have to spam down that Ryan shield if you want to get any value. And Corvus Gravity, I don't know if they were aware, but they figured out the win condition and they executed it flawlessly. And that's why they have that bigger time bank.
They were getting a lot of value out of their ultimates as well. When we talk about those win conditions, Astro on that McCree seems to find all of these picks. We were talking so much about the King on DPS coming into this game, but this map on Numbani, Astro might look like the king of the DPS line so far. As we go in now, 2-hour overtime segment, tied 3-3 on map 1. Now with about 50 seconds to attack here. The Agile Squids going to have to find something, probably don't have any time to build up ultimates. It's going to be all about playing smart here and finding the picks. As we see Mythical Cat on that Echo that we haven't gotten to see much. Marcus and the King, though, going to find those 2 very early picks like we were just talking about. Culture does take down Blue Lunaris. Gonna have to see if it'll be enough. Culture also finding Jimbo. The King, though, not to be outdone, finds a kill onto Wheels. Marcus comes in with yet another kill and another kill. Why not? Blue Lunaris is also back up thanks to that resurrection. Marcus there just putting on the carry pants, going to find 4 kills in that sort of just dry fight, opening fight for both teams there. That was so important for the Agile Squids.
We see this from Agile Squids. They're still pushing up. They're being really aggressive here, which is what they need. Astru, like you said, really good DPS player, but I think in this case, we have a Culture, their tank line, right, for Corvus Gravity is really kind of their carry. He's being enabled by their Lucio, who is Hidden Squid. And for Agile Squids, of course, the King is their carry. And I think that's the 2 players we need to be paying attention to because they're definitely doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and they will have to do a lot more work here if either team is going to win this map. Lunaris finds an excellent pin there onto Culture. He's going to go down fast, but Astro takes out the King. As a response, the King immediately gets res. That Mercy mid-fight res, so important. Going to go down to Mythical Cat on that Echo, who's also going to find Marcus. Astro, though, manages to jump off the map here. Not sure if that was intentional or not. The King going to kill himself with his barrage. Lots of errors here between both teams. Mythical now finds that Earth Shatter. Playing that Echo, remember, can emulate any hero on the field. That is going to be 2 quick kills, though. Excellent anti-grenade there from Hidden Squid. That's going to seal the deal for this attack from the Agile Squids.
It's good to see Culture switch to the ball there at the last second. Culture pushed in really aggressively, which is what we've been seeing this entire time. He got taken down a little early, and just as I say, pay attention to Culture. Astro is doing enough because of Culture, and I think that kind of highlighted it on that last play because Astro was pushing up with Culture, right, on the left side of that point if you're defender side, right side if you're attacker side. He pushed onto that point, was really aggressive, and died for it, but Astro got behind him and put in a lot of damage before getting booped off. It showed that he fell off, but I think he got booped there by the D.va. So it's really good synergy between Culture and Astro, and that's what I want to see going into this as we see a Bastion set up for defense. So hopefully that can get punished. I do want to see this match going on. The only thing I'm worried about with this round right now is how quickly Agile Squids was able to take the point. They took that point, I think, in about 45 seconds. They had 13 seconds from the time that the point, started moving, the payload started moving. Meanwhile, it took, I can't remember the exact time, but it was nearly 2.5 minutes, somewhere around there, before Corvus Gravity took the point. It took them like 3 fights. So hopefully they can get this done in 1 or 2 fights. And I think we might be in for a good game. I don't know who's going to win as long as Corvus Gravity can get this within the first 2 fights. They have 3. They have about 3. But I think if they get it within 2 fights, we're going to see a really good game here.
Yes, absolutely. Keeping track of that time is going to be essential here for Corvus Gravity as they come in backs against the wall now, looking to take this first map off Happy Squids. Remember, Agile Squids, has only lost 2 maps this whole season. So this could be their 3rd map loss of the season here if Corvus can engage quickly, and they do. Going to engage using that defense matrix to try and mitigate the Bastion damage. A good rotation from Marcus and the team, though, is going to put that Bastion damage right into that push. Marcus finding 2, Jimbo finding 2, the King finding another. That is the first push just out of there.
Whoever is shot calling for these teams, whoever is shot calling is on point for both teams. Both those rotations were executed perfectly. The May walls executed near perfectly. Like, Mythical Cat and the King are really good with these Mays, and whoever's making those plays for those rotations is on it. I really liked those rotations. I kind of want to see it again, but hopefully, I want to see the game go on. I don't want Agile Squids to win just now. So let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely. And Mei isn't the best character to play, maybe not the most fun, but the mind games with the Mei walls always interesting. Marcus gets walled up on top of the Mei wall, going to find Fire Hotbird very quickly, and also take down Culture, also take down Astro. Way too much damage coming out here from this Bastion, just sitting up on that high ground, raining down destruction from above. That is going to be it now. I think that could indeed be the map here, as there is not any time to get back on this point. Lucio desperately trying to stall. Marcus puts a rocket right in his face. That's going to be it. Oh, hold on a minute. Culture comes back on that ball. The Battle Mercy, Blazing Angel going to deal with that. Astro comes in on that Genji as well, also going to go down there. And despite a valiant effort from Corvus Gravity, that is going to be map 1 to the Agile Squids.
One bad Maywall. That is so hard if you're Mythical Cat right now. He boosted the Bastion up. If you didn't see that, his Maywall put the Bastion higher into the air. He was trying to block the Bastion out, and I think that would have won the point if he was successful in that. It's really unfortunate.
It is very unlucky, as that was definitely a very close point right there. They might have been able to find some ground there if the Bastion had ended up behind that wall. That few seconds that it would take for them to break the wall could have been key there. Mythical Cat, though, like we said, she did a very good job with those walls, as well as I believe it was there, the King on Mei as well. So
yeah, that was
very
the
good.
king.
Very good looks there from both Meis. Both teams look really good. I'm hoping, that was a tight Numbani. You don't always see that map played that close. So I'm really hoping that we see the rest of these maps play out like that.
Yeah, that was really a good match, and I think this is kind of lending itself to the history of these two teams. Like I said earlier, if you look at the stats yourselves on the standings, Agile Squids went uncontested the entire season until they faced Corvus Gravity, where Agile Squids went 3-2. So Corvus Gravity has the ability to beat Agile Squids, no doubt. These two teams are the two highest winning teams as far as map differential goes, as far as how many games they've won. So these are probably the closest we're gonna get, right, in terms of skill. And I think, if there's any kind of comparison that we could possibly do, let's just go off the players, right? The King, right? He's a huge carry potential. These two teams are very close. So we got the King and Mythical Cat. I think those two playing Mei and their skill level, just they're right there. They're neck and neck with skill level. And I think I think that's the same. You could say that for every single character and their counterpart, or every single player and their counterpart, right? Culture and Jim Blue, the Weasel and Blue Lenars. Well, really, it'd be Culture and Blue Lenars. They have similar skills. That's how it seems to me. These players are very equally matched.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We've seen, and I think the biggest thing has been, for me, just watching that first map, how back and forth, like both teams looked very good on their initial attacks, right? Both teams capped with, all 3 points with a decent time bank. They got past that sort of map, like the third point on Numbani can be a very tough spot to get past if you get stopped there and you don't just steamroll your way through. And we saw both teams get stopped there initially, but then they were also still able to push back in and get through that last hump there. So really good coordination on ultimates from both sides, really good positioning from both sides at different times. I think that it's going to just be insanely close throughout the rest of these maps as long as both teams continue playing the way they played on that first map. Though I do have to give Agile Squids the edge, because as much as we've talked about the King and as well as the King played, Marcus looked absolutely excellent on that McCree. He was finding a lot of kills where they needed to. On the Hanzo, he looked great. He was finding so many picks, putting so much damage onto that shield and taking the flanks when he needed to, putting pressure on the backline. So I just want to shout out Marcus there for that excellent DPS play on Numbani. If I had to go with a map MVP, it would probably be Marcus. What about you? Who would be your
That's
map
a
MVP
tough
for
one.
Numbani?
So I- I'm a bit of a main tank player, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to give this one honestly to Hidden Squid. He was able to enable, like, his speed amp, his beats. like he stopped 2 Sigma ults from having any effect. So he was able to get his beats online at critical moments and use them at the right time. He was able to use speed boost with the amp for Culture just to get in there and swing on Agile Squids. I'm really gonna have to give it to Hidden Squid on the Lucio. I don't think Lucio gets enough love, and I think that his impact kind of goes unseen sometimes. He had a lot of value, or maybe it was Fire Hotbird. Whichever one was on Lucio, it might have been Fire Hopper. I thought it was Hidden Squid on the Lucio there.
There was a little bit
enabling
of
culture.
overlap between them, but for those of you who don't know competitive Overwatch too well, when you see a lot of good ults being used, when you see players doing a lot of good stuff with their ultimates, it's usually the Lucio calling it out. Lucio's responsible for a lot of ultimate tracking, so making sure that you know what's going on with the other team's ultimates. That's the general comms role for Lucio players. But as we go into our second map here on Oasis, we do see a substitution. We're going to see Say come in for Blazing Angel on the side of the Agile Squids. Otherwise, we have the same lineups. The King going to be taking the same lineup to a new level here, playing that Pharah again, as it seems like, oh my gosh, the early boop there onto Hidden Squid. Corvus tries to go up that sort of bounce pad there. They're going to pay for it, though, as Blue Lunaris gets up there first, finds Culture, the King finds Astro. It's going to be a quick first fight here for the side of the Agile Squids.
Yeah, once Culture gets taken out, you're on your back foot already, right? Your main take gets taken out, you're on your back foot. Astro, if he gets taken out, I didn't mention him before. Astro has been the MVP of Corvus Gravity, no doubt, just based off kills alone, without any other considerations. If he's taken out as well, you got no carry, you got no damage, and that's kind of what happened.
Yes, Astro is putting out a lot of damage, putting in a lot of eliminations there. Super important as we see Blue Lunaris being super aggressive here into this enemy team, understanding that maybe he has a lot of support from Spark there. She does get taken down on the high ground. Mythical Cat also going to take out Mercy, but not before the res comes in. Astro, though, with a very quick Deadeye, and Fire Hot Bird with a pick onto Blue Lunaris. Astro just going a little bit nuts right now, finding yet another headshot here, this time onto X-Spark, going to take her out as well. And that is going to be it for the Agile Squids. They do hold to 47%. Didn't seem like they held for that long, but you know, on these maps, every second counts. Every little tick you get towards that 100% is super important.
Oh yeah, of course. And now you also got to think about the ultimate economy, right? Both teams coming in with quite a few ultimates. Agile Squids, if they're smart, they can initiate early, and that's going to put Corvus Gravity on their back.
Yes, it will. Talk about being on the back foot here. Marcus finds 2 early kills, especially that one onto Hidden Squid there. That is the main healer going down with an ultimate. Fire Hot Bird also going to go down to the King. That is just going to be a stall out now for the side of Corvus Gravity. Culture trying to stay alive on site as long as he can, and he does. Also going to get into the mid-40s here is Corvus Gravity as the point flips back towards the Agile Squids, and they are going to be now pushing up towards the spawn of Corvus Gravity, trying to not give them any space here.
I spoke a little bit too early. I thought maybe if Agile Squids ulted early, that was going to be the win condition. Turns out, if you get a McCree to flank, that's your win condition.
Flanking McCree, very powerful. Talking about McCree, both McCrees have ultimates right now. We're going to see a lot of ultimates come out this fight. Jimbo's D.va Bomb does not find anything. It's going to be on the high ground here for Corvus Gravity. Jimbo going to get up there, trying to get some damage in, gets super low, but does not get demeched there. The King now flying up there, trying to rain some of that damage in with Say in Valkyrie now, trying to help him out. Oh my gosh, Blue Lunaris is going to go down to that sort of Hail Mary D.va Bomb from Wheels there, going to get quickly resurrected there by Say. Blue Lunaris going down. Marcus does find Astro, but not before the King manages to kill himself with the barrage. Hidden Squid taking out Marcus. No DPS now for Happy Squid for Agile Squids. I can't speak in this fight, but it seems like both Reinhardts now going to be nanoed. Actually, it's going to be the Echo on the Reinhardt. 2 Reinhardts now bullying Blue Lunaris. It's just not going to be enough there, as Corvus Gravity is going to take over this point. But at 99, all Agile Squids needs here is one fight.
I want to point out the wheels. The King used his barrage. That's the Pharah on Agile Squids. Used their barrage, and the wheels flew up there, sacrificed himself, got demeched, and got the kill. The King ended up killing himself because of it. Ultimate's being held on for a very long time by Corvus Gravity. I want to see these ults get used a little bit sooner from both teams, really. Initiate with your ult. What are you saving them for? Sitting on the high ground. Use them and take the win.
Yeah, early ultimates is very important here as we see Blue Lunaris with sort of an interesting charge there, trying to catch somebody by surprise. Doesn't manage to, though, as Astro is going to find the first kill. Now Agile Squids down their main support, but Corvus Gravity down their main DPS, and Marcus going to come in with a very important 2-3K. Make it a 3K right there for Marcus. Going to find more kills with that Deadeye Jimbo, cleaning things up here for good measure. That is going to be 0.1 to the Agile Squids.
Blue Lunaris taking that weird route, leaving his team completely exposed, right? You don't see the Reinhardt. Where's the Reinhardt? This is the type of questions that Corvus Gravity needs to be asking themselves. Where is the Reinhardt? Why don't I see him? Oh, that's right. He's using the jump pad to try and get a weird charge off. Punish it. Punish it, Corvus Gravity. Be aggressive. Get in there. If you see that something is a little bit weird, that's your gut feeling speaking, it's because you don't see a giant shield. Punish it. And that's what these teams need to be doing. For that last point, I mean, really, what won the fight? Was it the tank line? I don't think so. It was Marcus, right? It was Marcus and Astro. Come on, tank line. Let's be aggressive here. Let's notice some things, and let's really punish the enemy team for their mistakes.
Yeah, talking about punishing for mistakes, it's something that sometimes gets missed by teams, especially when we're talking about some lower elo tournaments. You know, teams are just focused a lot on their game plan. Speaking of game plans, the King finding an early pick, using that high ground to their advantage here. Squids now with a Mei wall there. It's going to allow them to get onto point here. The King, though, drops on the wrong side of the Mei wall. This double shield composition, though, going to give them a lot of sustain on point here. Lunaris getting chased around, but does find the kill onto Culture there. Just does not seem to be going well for Corvus early in this fight. Mythical Cat, though, coming back from spawn, does find Sei, and that is an important kill onto that Baptiste. Wheels loses the mech there as well. Firehopper gets trapped on the wrong side of their own Mei wall and goes down, but Marcus with 2 equalizer kills there. Mythical Cat, not to be outdone, finds Marcus, but Jimbo, I feel like I'm always saying, Jimbo with the cleanup, does come in here with the cleanup. Culture finds Blue Lunaris. This fight is back and forth here. Culture can't find a pin. It's a 3v2 onto point. They do get forced off here. Culture going down to Jimbo, and that is going to be it for that first fight. Point control starts with the Agile Squids.
Yeah, that was a bit of a messy fight there. Really not a whole lot to say. It was just messy. People got booped around. People jumped down when they probably shouldn't have. I think the Meis are really what we need to be focusing on here in those Mei walls. That's going to be what contributes the most to the team. If we can get a good Mei wall here, it's going to be an easy cleanup.
Yep, and we do see the King and Mythical Cat going at it on those Mei walls. The King finds that early Mei wall, but they aren't able to capitalize on it. Now, Mythical going to use that Mei wall there to sort of give them a free rotation. They may not know that Marcus on the McCree is hiding underneath there. We see him with the Deadeye now, going to try to be extra sneaky with it, maybe find some more flank kills as we see Culture and company engage onto the point. The Earth Shatter from Blue Lunaris not going to find anybody. The High Noon here from Astro is going to also be stopped. They may not even need Marcus on the flank here, as does take out Mythical Cat, also going to use that Deadeye, but not before Astro takes him down. Wheels also finding a kill there onto Lunaris. This could be going the way of Corvus Gravity. It's a 3v3 on point. Hidden Squid with 2 huge picks there. It's just X-Spark. She's doing her best to stall this point out on that Lucio. It is not going to be enough as they do flip the point, but with 66% captured, this is looking pretty good, all things considered, for the Agile Squids still. Corvus Gravity looking to gain some momentum.
Yeah, Corvus Gravity, they can initiate with some ults to win this fight too easy. I expect Agile Squids will go in dry. If they do commit the Lucio ult here, then it's going to work out in their favor if Corvus Gravity doesn't initiate with their ults.
Talk about initiating with ultimates there. Corvus Gravity initiates with the D.va bomb, sort of a flank bomb from Wheels. Culture uses it to take out X-Spark, and the Moira ult is going to come in here, this time from Hidden Squid, putting out a lot of healing. That wall sort of blocks it off, and it's going to be up to Culture now to engage around that wall. Goes in and shatters too! A great shatter there, going to take down Lunaris. Culture does pay for it with his life, though. Marcus taking him out with a well-placed headshot. Now it's an aggressive push here from the Agile Squids. Both Reinhardts are down here, but the Squids looking to push in. The King takes out Astro with the help from Jimbo's Supercharger. High Noon comes in, doesn't find anybody. It's just Wheels trying to survive on point here as Culture comes back with that shield. Not quick enough, though, as Wheels and Culture will both get shattered here by Lunaris, going to take out everybody on that point. Now talking about the stall, this time it's Hidden Squid and it's Fire Hot Bird on the stall. They're not going to last very long against the whole team of Agile Squids. 73% to their names. Pretty good look for Corvus here. They're going to have to get back on pretty fast, though, if they want more than one fight.
Corvus Gravity can initiate with the Mayo. The King is going to have to counter it. There's nothing to eat Corvus Gravity Mayo. They need to just yeet that thing in, right? That's what they need to look for right now. And also using the Moria ult.
And you were right about that. May ult, it does come in very quick. The Immortality field comes out, but it's not going to be enough to save Blue Lunaris. But Blue Lunaris does actually manage to get out of that somehow. But Astro says not so fast and takes out 2 with that Deadeye. We've seen him used to such great effect in this match. Blue Lunaris with a pretty excellent pin there onto Fire Hot Bird. That's big. That is a big kill right there. But Mythical taking out Blue Lunaris and throwing up a great wall to stop Marcus from Deadeyeing the entire team there. Going in and flash fanning Wheels out of his mech, but Astro also going to make him pay for that with his life. 99% now for the Agile Squids. They need one fight here as we see the King swap onto that Doomfist, maybe trying to find some pick potential here. Wheels going to go for that reset instead of trying to work their way back to that mech. Just going to die here, respawn with the mech, and try to make it back to point in time. It's going to be interesting to see how aggressive Corvus is able to play here. Lunaris peeking in. He's on site now. Both are on site, but that is not going to be good. Lunaris going down early. Culture does fall below. Gets stunned out of its Earth Shatter. Great stun there from Marcus on that McCree. It's also going to lead to Jimbo taking out Culture, but Wheels, Hidden Squid, and the side of Corvus Gravity finding these important picks where they matter. Say, though, with excellent shots onto Fire Hot Bird, Astro with just the millionth Deadeye of the game here, finding it this time onto Say. The ults coming out now from both teams. That May ult is going to be very important, though, is able to freeze Spark, who escapes to the high ground, but it's actually going to be the Agile Squids undoing, as high ground is also off point here. Corvus Gravity going to secure a point here, and it's 1-1 on Oasis, heading into our third map.
Yeah, can I go ahead and redact my statement about the Lucio being the MVP? Corvus Gravity, Astro, once again, on a great Deadeye ult. One ult that we typically see in Overwatch being kind of like, throw it away. Go watch YouTube. What do they always say? It's just a throwaway ult. You can use it to reload. That's the status that Deadeye gets. Go watch Overwatch League. They hardly ever get a kill with that thing. Astro, crazy value with that Deadeye. Every single time he uses it, I'm pretty sure he's gotten at least a kill or 2. And once again, yeet the May all in, go ahead and flank, and Astro's getting those kills. Great value from him.
Absolutely. Mythical charging those May ults very fast, using walls to great effect as well. Good look from the DPS line. They're going to have to deal with the King's famed Pharah here, though. No May now for the side of Agile Squids. They're going to try to take high ground, Corvus Gravity is, and Astro with the early kill onto the King. You don't see that every day. That could be trouble here for the Squids now. Down their main DPS. Say going to look for a res, but probably isn't going to be able to find it. Lunaris now having to deal with a Reinhardt and a May. Does have those Zarya bubbles there from Jimbo, but Marcus goes down to the wheels. Now no DPS on hand. That May wall comes in. It's huge, blocking off the tanks, and that is going to be an early capture here for Corvus Gravity. Astro takes a nap on the high ground, going to go back and rejoin his team.
So let's see if they reset high ground. They dropped really early there. They dropped when there was 8 seconds left until the cap, which I was a little bit shocked by. Culture, just a very aggressive Reinhardt work. I want to see them take the high ground. Enable your Astro. Let them get a free kill on Pharah. It doesn't look like they're going to.
They did find that Pharah kill last time, but they're not looking at the high ground here. The King on the flank, but Astro, Culture, and Hidden Squid just pushing forward as hard as they can, enabled by Fire Hot Bird and that speed boost. They're going to push around the corner, kill just about everybody, then turn around and kill that pharmacy. Not a bad way to do things, Solid.
And no real ults committed. They used Coalescence, which they didn't really need. I'm going to eat my own words. I'm thinking, set up on the high ground, get the kill on Pharah. They're thinking, ignore the Pharah. She's useless. And obviously, so does Agile Squids. They swap off.
Yeah, and I'm sure the King isn't quite used to being so ignored like that on the Pharah, almost cast aside by the Corvus Gravity team here. Culture does get in a little bit of trouble now with that Maywall. Maybe not expecting that switch from the King. The Maywall does come out, though, buys Corvus a little bit of time though. Good ult or good wall there from Mythical Cat. A lot of ults online for Corvus here. The Mei ult is going to come out. It's going to freeze a couple here. Blue Lunaris is frozen. Jimbo now without a personal bubble. A huge Earth Shatter comes out. 3 on the ground for Culture. Culture taking out Marcus. Wheels taking out the King, and it is just every ult getting thrown out right now. Jimbo invests Grav there in what could have been considered a lost fight. Astro, of course. Are we even surprised to see him in the feed with that Deadeye at this point?
I'm really not. In fact, I went to go view him on POV. I'm on my own spectate camera right now, just kind of getting a bird's eye view of everything. I saw it coming. The 2 healers on Agile Squids were in the back line. Astro went to the high ground, which is what I wanted to see, and he got those 2 kills.
Lunaris gets stuffed there on that Earth Shatter. Culture with the good block. The freeze does come out here, but it's not going to be enough. Wheels with the D.va bomb gets blocked by Say's well-timed immortality field. Say does get killed though quickly by Hidden Squid. Jimbo on that ball trying to find value. Astro though finding even more value. 4 for Astro here in this round deciding fight right here. This is an incredible performance from Astro, single-handedly sort of carrying his team to victory there in that last fight, just finding 5 for just, why not?
And I think he kind of got into the head of Marcus, right? McCree v. McCree, who's doing better. Looks like it's Astro. Really good fight. I'm not sure what makes this map a whole lot different than the other one, other than, if we think about it, which map gives your McCree more room to work with? It's this one. If you hold the point, you have more room to work with on this map. So I think that's what really enabled Astro to just do what he wanted to do, right? And that's why they were able to take this win. He is their carry. That's who we need to be looking for going forward. And how are Agile Squids going to defend against this, right? They could go D.va. We haven't seen a D.va from Agile Squids yet. They could go D.va and maybe shut them down that way. They could maybe go a dive comp, shut them down that way. Agile Squids is going to have to contest Astro. I know they did good on the first map, but they're going to need to contest him. That's going to be their win condition.
Yeah, and we did, I've been playing a little bit of Valorant lately. I'm sure a lot of people have. One thing that people say a lot of the time in Valorant, you're only as good as your bottom fragger. The same I feel like applies to Overwatch, a team game, you're only as good as your weakest link, only as strong as your weakest link. And I don't know who the weakest link here on Corvus Gravity is, but they're pretty strong if they were able to just put in that performance against Agile Squids, handing them only their 3rd map loss of the season here. So excellent work there from Corvus, top to bottom. Culture really won that Rhine battle with Blue Lunaris. Super enabled there too by the support line of Hidden Squid and Firehot Bird. Those speed boosts from Firehot, those were just wonderful. Excellent to see that kind of aggression out of a Reinhardt and to see it so enabled by the rest of the team.
Yeah, you really don't see a whole lot of props being given to the support line, but we have to give it here, right? As you mentioned with the speed boost, and I mentioned it earlier, the great use of Lucio ultimates and the great use of speed boost as well in Nimani. And now we see it here as well. Culture, I'm not saying he's a bad player or I'm not saying he's relying on his team, but he is truly, truly being enabled by his supports. And when we look at Overwatch, right, you can kind of say it's a common theme or maybe something that a lot of people think about, right? The tanks, right? Who enables the tanks? It's the supports. And who enables the DPS? It's the tanks. Supports enable tanks, tanks enable DPS. Culture and Astro are really just working together phenomenally. Even if it's not like something that they're communicating, the amount of space and attention that Culture is forcing Agile Squids to have due to Firehot Bird enabling him is just letting Astro run away with this game.
Absolutely. Talking about Astro, all that space he's getting, definitely Culture, but also Mythical Cat. We talked about her walls just a little bit earlier, but really putting in a lot of work on that Mei, finding those really important walls, helping to control sort of the tempo of the game, if you will, sort of using a wall when your main tank gets low to let you go back and heal up and then re-engage at another point, or using a wall to separate the tanks from the supports on the other team, using the walls to be super aggressive and sort of like push in and not take too much damage there. Like just really, really good work there. And the team, like we were talking about, just playing around the walls really well. I think we saw maybe a little bit of like evolution there from Corvus and maybe a bit of a de-evolution, sort of Agile Squids devolving there
I
from
agree.
that team play that we saw on the first map for both sides.
I
Corvus looks more like a team, and Agile looks a little bit less.
I 100% agree. I wasn't gonna say it, but I definitely thought it. And going back to the main walls there, yeah, there was one fight in particular. Maybe the viewers remember. It was, I think it was the second to last fight, or maybe the last fight. They were in the lobby, right? The Agile Squids was trying to go through the right door. If you're attacking from Agile Squids, they're trying to go through the right door to reach the point. And Corvus Gravity was set up in there. That's when I mentioned that the Pharaoh was basically being ignored. Mythcat had no problem just walling off the door, not even trying to get anybody in there. I don't know if that was intentional, but it feels like it was. His Rhine was taking too much damage. He used the wall, like you said, to allow Culture to get healed up. And that actually ended up not forcing, but it definitely persuaded Agile Squids to go around and go main, which put him at a huge disadvantage. I want to say that's where we saw Astro go ahead and take those 2 kills against the Baptiste and the Anna. So, yeah, really good Maywall usage. And as you said, the team's just synergy, right? Synergy really seems to be starting to take a. We saw King swap off of the Pharah in the last match that we saw Agile Squid take. The last, the last game that we saw Agile Squids take during the semifinals. King was on Pharah almost the entire game. So Corvus Gravity basically just said, "No, we know you want Pharah. We know that's what you want. We're not going to let you use it against us." And now Agile Squids is being forced to adapt. Meanwhile, Corvus Gravity is fighting within their zone, within their realm, what the fight they want to fight.
So we've been really lauding in the achievements here of Corvus Gravity, especially after that last map. Going in here, it's going to be Temple of Anubis. Agile Squids, they lost the last map, so they get to pick here. They pick Temple of Anubis. What do you think they see on Anubis that's going to help them beat Corvus Gravity? What about Temple of Anubis is good for Agile Squids, especially after seeing these first 2 maps? Why do you think that they can win here?
So I'm no pro, and I'm not a pro analysis or anything like that, but I do watch a lot of YouTube. So I already talked about it. They want to use Pharah. This is a Pharah map. This is one of the 2 CP maps where you can run Pharah and actually get a lot of value, no matter where the defending team sets up. And I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of long range. They try to go double shields, right, on Numbani. So maybe they'll try to do double shields. You can spam it away. This is a great map to spam away. If the defenders or attackers, doesn't matter, no matter where they set up, this is a great map to just have a spam comp. Spam meaning just shoot. Just shoot until their shields are gone, and then you get free damage, right? And it forces cooldowns. It forces them to take cover. It allows you to get space. I think that's why they went this map. I might be wrong. It's looking like I'm wrong because they are going Torb. But I think that's why. I think during attack, they're going to run the Pharah, and I think that's why they picked this one.
All right. I like it. I like the explanation, and I think you're probably right. Though, like we were talking about, Corvus doing a very good job here of locking down that Pharah. So it'll be interesting to see how much that Pharah does get utilized here. Going in, who is the player to watch on this map? You just talked about the King. Give me one other player.
Oh, well, that's too easy. Culture is going to be the next one we need to face, or we need to be watching. Jim Blue, if we're going to go with Agile Squids, he's going to be the one that needs to be watched. Jim Blue is going to get a lot of value. He had some great Sigma ults there, but they just got canceled out by Firehawk. But I think we still need to be watching him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Culture and the team now going to be looking to push. They're going to push right here very early. Going to maybe go for some high ground here. That Maywall comes out trying to mitigate some of that damage from that high ground chokehold right there. And it's Astro now looking for these early flanks. Going to get pushed back in very quickly as this early rotation also comes out from Agile Squids here. Lunaris playing directly below that high ground. He cannot wait for them to drop within range of that charge, within range of that hammer. Now playing on the high ground here, it seems like Corvus maybe going to be looking for some picks here. Marcus trying to take an off angle, trying to find something that maybe the rest of his team cannot see. Lunaris now over in the corner, pushing around this Maywall. Culture does find Jimbo with the charge, but Lunaris does find Firehawk Bird. A very early coalescence here is going to take out the King. Astro going to find Blazing Angel, and the picks just come in here for Corvus.
Yeah, great wall there from the beginning from Mythical Cat, able to stop Jim Blue. The guy said we should paying attention to, but maybe he's the one that needs to be paying attention to these Maywalls. Astro taking an off angle, just pumping in the damage. Marcus doing the same thing on the defender side for Agile Squid. It's kind of a toss-up here. Both really good rotations. Let's see what they bring to this next point.
Yeah, both really good rotations. The high ground is what tends to matter on that first point, and it definitely mattered there for Corvus Gravity, able to farm up those ults really quickly. A missed charge here from Blue Lunaris, but Culture gets antied. So in the meantime, Corvus going to have to back off a little bit here. Culture holding that shield, desperately trying to get some health back, but not going to be enough as the King comes out with that ultimate. The turret brings him down. Lunaris and Marcus going to clean things up for good measure here. Finally, Astro doesn't find anything with the Deadeye. The King with a little bit of some BM there. The hammer kill onto Hidden Squid there. What happened that fight? Was that just a case of too many ults there from the Agile Squids?
No, it wasn't even that. The Agile Squid still has a lot of ults that they're holding off to. It's just a bad rotation. It was a good rotation, but Astro wasn't able to find value with it. He likes the flanks, right? Astro likes to flank. So going into this last set, the second point, he's not going to have just free reign, and that's where he's been getting all his value from. And I think when that damage isn't pouring in, you're really relying on Mythical Cat to get a good wall, which they just didn't get for that fight. You just called it out. Bad charge.
Yeah, and here comes the Bob very early, going to stall out that push, allowing the Squids now time to rotate. Does seem like Marcus not going to rotate fast enough. Goes down to that damage ball. The ults coming out now. Both Earth Shatters come out. Not really going to find anything. The freeze does find Lunaris, but the amount of ults there from the Squids to sort of protect him is going to be enough. He charges right into Culture there, who doesn't find the counter pin. Going to go down against that wall. Astro now finding that kill onto Marcus. Excellent work there, taking out that Tracer. Wheels with 2 kills, huge kills as a matter of fact. The ults come out again here, still not really going to be enough to secure this point for the Squids. It seems almost like a stall here. The D.va bomb comes in, also not going to find anything. There's a lot of Squids left alive, but it seems like all of Corvus is still alive, and they're still finding the kills here. This last point can drag on indefinitely if you don't start securing enough of these kills fast enough, though. So we see Astro use that Deadeye there to sort of zone out Culture, or zone out Jimbo on that ball. Astro also going to find Spark here. Culture going to find Blazing Angel, who's also switched that ball. 2 huge re-entry picks here, though, from Blue Lunaris and Marcus. We'll see if they're enough to give them an advantage in this fight. Remember, the spawn is so much closer here for the Agile Squids, so any picks count 3 times more. As we see Lunaris with another excellent charge, followed by a huge Earth Shatter onto the tanks. Does seem that Mythical Cat's charged up yet another Blizzard, though. That wall also keeping the Moira off the point here, so no healing here for the Agile Squids as Blazing Angel finally manages to get back on. Hidden Squid and Blazing Angel in a duel now with those Moira right clicks there. Oh, and that is just going to be almost enough to cap, as we're at 99%. That is enough there to cap. What a stall there from the Agile Squids, getting it down to 2.5 minutes, probably almost a 90-second stall there.
There were so many times that I thought misplays were happening, but Corvus Gravity just staying alive in moments where they really shouldn't have. That May ult at the end, I thought it was already a lost fight. They were already down 2, and Agile Squids was just moving in on them. Right? They even swapped to the Doom getting picks. I thought it was over at that point, but they said no. Here, look, here's our Reaper. We're going to get picks just as well as your Doom. Watch this. And they made it happen. Really, really good to see there coming from Corvus Gravity that they didn't give up. Because I would have called it a lost fight, but they didn't. They said, no, it's not lost. We're going to keep going. We're going to win. And early beats coming out from both teams, I think, is kind of what influenced that fight the most. Now, granted, that was real early in the fight, right? In the stall fight that we saw going on for nearly a minute. It was the 2 early beats that we saw going on. Once Agile Squids used their beat basically to counter Corvus Gravity's beat, it became a new game. It became who can just get the picks faster and who can stabilize sooner, and it went to Corvus Gravity.
Yes, it really did go to Corvus Gravity in a lot of ways. I think the most important way was, like you said, that last May ult there from Mythical Cat. She was able to charge that up twice during that fight, which is really impressive, but also just using it where maybe that was a toss-up of a fight, not really sure who was going to win. Sometimes you just got to be decisive, and they were very decisive, and that's what allowed them the cap here. Speaking of decisive, now we see Mythical on that Junkrat. I love to see Junkrat. He is one of my favorite characters to see played. Just really kind of a meme sometimes. Doesn't really get the doesn't really get the respect of other characters, but this is a great point for Junkrat as we see Astro bullying the King out of the sky there. A big boop there from Jimbo, going to put Culture down now on the low ground, but Astro holding this high ground with the Wheels' shield now, taking out Blue Lunaris, and that is going to be a bit of a back off here for the Agile Squids. They're going to have to reconsider how they want to attack this.
So let's think about this, right? Why is Marcus playing Ashe? I think it's to try and contest Astro. That's what I personally think. I think he's like, I'm not winning against McCree. I'm going to go Ashe and try and beat him. So now King is on Pharah and just got shut down by Astro in the first fight. So what are you thinking here? What's going through these DPS minds, right? You're getting outplayed. That's how it feels. Morale must be going down, right? What's the King thinking? I'm getting shut down. What's Marcus thinking? I can't do my job. I think morale is starting to get low for these players, these DPS players and Agile Squids, and that's where things starting to fall apart.
Yeah, I definitely think a little bit of morale is in play right now. I think a lot of it also has to do with just the unlimited pressure here that Astro is able to put out along with the help of Mythical Cat. Speaking of Astro and pressure, though, gets pretty low there. Culture is going to find Jimbo, though. Despite the anti onto Firehawkbird, it is not going to be enough to give Agile Squids any real purchase here. See Marcus and Blue Lunaris still being super aggressive, but they may not have the team with them to make it happen right now. The King's still looking for those kills, but Mythical Cat is going to be the one to find it. Onto Marcus there. Astro taking out the King again. Talking about Astro and his Deadeye is going to use it to take out Blue Lunaris there.
I just want to point out that Firehawkbird's positioning is great. I've actually never seen a Baptiste sit up there before, but I've just seen so much value from him. The heals that he has putting out, you can see it right now. He's able to hit the high ground where Culture and the Wheels are right now. He's able to hit the low ground underneath the bridge. He's able to support Astro when Astro goes at an off angle. Really good positioning by him, and he's actually enabling this team a lot.
Speaking of position, here comes Mythical Cat's Riptire, going to find X-Spark. She goes down very quickly to that tire. The res does come in onto the King, but not a res there for Spark. So they're going to have to go into this fight down one or just wait for Spark to respawn here. With only 90 seconds left, things are getting a little testy here for the Agile Squids. They only have 3 ults online compared to the 3 ults that Corvus has online. Jimbo with a huge pick onto Mythical Cat there, but it's followed up by the Wheels finding Marcus. So that is another tough position now for the Agile Squids. They're going to have to push in without their McCree here. Of course, losing a Junkrat is big as well. So in this 5v5 fight, the Nano onto the Rhine not going to be enough there. The King, though, big barrage going to take out Culture, not before Astro finds him with that headshot, though. Wheels taking down X-Spark again. Astro cleaning things up. Marcus finally finding a pick there onto Astro, but is going to pay for it with his life. We're looking at last fight territory here for the Agile Squids. It's do or die time for them.
Yeah, they're going to have to be aggressive if they want to work off that pick advantage from Culture and Astro. Looks like that's what they're going to be doing. Play aggressive. Go. You got Lucio. Go. Speed. Now's your chance to win.
Yep, and talking about winning, Wheels finds what could potentially be a winning pick there onto Marcus. Tough to lose someone so early going into the last fight. The King looking on this Hanzo, going to try to even things up here from the high ground. Blazing Angel comes down. Jimbo's the one to even things up, taking down Hidden Squid on that Zenyatta. The King and Jimbo finding more, not before Astro takes out Jimbo, though. The King now raining down some destruction from this high ground here, going to take out Wheels. And Marcus with the Widow back from spawn. Maybe a bit of an off angle that the team was not really expecting a Widow from. That's going to be enough to secure the point just in the nick of time.
I thought that Agile Squids weren't going to take that. They were a little bit slow on that rotation. Seemed like they were hesitant. They took a long rotation. I would have just went through main. They're already down 2. Just go through main. 2 are running back from spawn and just take the objective. That's not what they chose to do, but in the end, it worked out. So I guess it doesn't matter what I think, right? Now we're going into this next fight. 2 great ultimates, Tire and Deadeye, going to be able to zone them out and maybe even get some kills and stop this first fight from even happening. Probably going to be a dry run. If they commit this grab, that's going to be a misplay.
Yes, we're going to have to see how that Riptire gets used here, if it'll get used at all, as Marcus finds Mythical Cat early here. That could be the opening that Agile Squids need as they try desperately to push onto point here. The misclick on the Nano Boost ends up on Lucio instead of the Reinhardt that I think they meant to get it on. Doesn't matter, though, as Blazing Angel going to find some value in it, taking out Culture. The Wheels finds Jimbo, though, before that grab can even come out. So the ults will get used here. A Deadeye and a Riptire come out for Corvus, and that is going to be the end of that fight. Marcus looks to maybe find an exit pick there. Not going to happen as he is forced out of here back towards his spawn.
They could have easily held on to those ultimates. I think they would have easily won that without using the Riptire or without using the Deadeye. At the very best, they could have just used one or the other, maybe the Deadeye. But, of course, that's me saying Deadeye doesn't get much value, but Astro always finds value. Now they're going in at a huge disadvantage. This might just be a win unless we get a good Earth Shatter off and the Coalescence is...
Yeah, absolutely. And talked about early, they get in there very quickly, find Culture. This could be a very fast fight here as Marcus finds a very important kill. Does go down to Mythical Cat, who swapped over to that Echo. Blazing Angel continuing to frag out on that Lucio. X-Spark not... bit of a trade there with Mythical Cat. The King going to take out Astro here, but Hidden Squid and Culture are able to come back in and find those important picks. It's not going to be enough here for the Squids. They commit maybe too late of a beat drop there. That is a tough fight if you're the Squids.
I think I missed it. Why didn't they win just now? I am completely baffled. There are two ultimates that have not been used by Agile Squids. I thought it was a win. I really did. I thought the graph was all they needed, and that Dragon Strike just... it went wide. I don't know where he was trying to go. He's trying to block the door. He was trying to block the door with that Dragon Strike. He clearly thought they won that fight, but going in the next fight, let's see.
Oh man, they go right into the next fight. Blue Lunaris with a huge shatter here. Culture, though, is the one to take down X-Spark first here. Blue Lunaris does take out Firehot Bird, who I think thought that they were already dead, but did get protected by the beat. Lunaris goes down quickly to Echo, who just puts out such ridiculous amounts of damage. Hidden Squid take it down Jimbo and Blazing Angel. It's going to be yet another fight win here for Corvus. This could be the last fight, as there's only 15 seconds left in the round. The King goes down super late here. I don't know how you recontest this. Seems like it's going to have to be X-Spark here who's going to bring in this recontest.
No, two zoning alls. You got the Deadeye. You got the bomb. This is going to be it unless you get some insane picks. This is it.
Talking about picks, it's all going the way of Corvus right now. The ults coming out, the picks coming in. Marcus's dragon, or sorry, the King's dragon flies over point there. Mythical taking out Blazing Angel. Astro taking out the King, and Wheels finding the last pick of the map. Corvus Gravity now up 2-1 in our grand finals.
Yeah, this is going really good for Corvus Gravity. I'm still baffled at that last fight where we saw the Grav come in on the left side, right? I think they got two picks from that, and one of them was their main tank. And then we saw the Dragon Strike from the Hanzo. That's coming from, I think it was Marcus. The Dragon Strike came in and it went to the right door. In my mind, when I'm thinking, if I'm a Hanzo, right? If I'm a Hanzo on Agile Squids team, and I see a Grav go in, I see two picks, and the call goes out, let's use the Grav on the door. My thought is, we win this fight. I'm grabbing the door to stop the recontest. That's what goes in my mind, but they just weren't able to take it. I must have blinked because I missed where Corvus Gravity was able to retake that point. I blinked and I lost it.
Yeah, and what it ended up being was a great Rhine pin there from Culture, followed up by another kill from another one of the teammates there. So just enough to retake the point. You know, it's not always about getting everything at once when it comes to those stalls. It's just about doing enough that eventually the fight is going to turn your way. And that's really what happened there for Corvus. They turned the fight their way. I believe we will be going to a short halftime break. Before we do, while this map is still fresh in our minds, who is your MVP on that map? Who do you think played the best?
Oh, Lord. On that map, I'm going to have to give it to Astro. He just shut down. He was able to shut down so much. Astro is just, he's doing so well this game. He's got to be feeling good about himself, especially if he's listening in on the stream. Astro, dude, you are, I'm not going to say you're carrying your team because you're not. It's a team game. This is Overwatch. It's all 6 players working with synergy. And as we've stated before, Agile Squid synergy starting to break down a little bit. And I think Astro has a lot to do with that. So I'm going to have to give it to Astro.
Yeah, you know, I really find it hard to disagree, but I am going to give it to Mythical Cat here. Mostly because she played the Junkrat, and you know how much I love Junkrat. But I also think that the Mei was, again, super valuable. I think that the use of that Blizzard that we talked about at the end of that first fight, that first push that they had that capped the second point, I think that was an integral play. I think that really was a momentum changer there. It seemed like Agile Squids was going to take point back, and they ended up not, and Corvus capped. I think that was it right there. I think that's what changed this map from what might have been a draw, what might have been a win for Agile Squids, to a pretty decisive win there for Corvus Gravity. So we will be going in to a 10-minute break here. So we will be back in 10 minutes. I am Chunk. With me here is Solid. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch Pretenders Lower Division Grand Finals. I am Chunk. With me here is Solidus. Solid, we have had a very close, very exciting first half, and it is a bit of a surprise, I think, to me at least, that Corvus Gravity is up 2-1 at this point. Going in now to our fourth map, Havana. Maybe just recap the first half for us a little bit and tell us what you're expecting to see in the second half.
So we're going into Havana, right? This is going to be another. I actually like Havana a lot, and for this reason, right? We have a long range section in the beginning. Pretty decent amount of cover. Maybe we'll see King on the Pharah again. Maybe we'll see Marcus on the Widowmaker. Maybe we'll see double shield comp for Agile Squids when they're defending, and Corvus Gravity going with the Rhine again and the D.va. That's what I think we're kind of looking forward to here, right? And then you go into the second point. Completely indoors, not a huge height ceiling for the Pharah to really boss you around. No good sight lines for Widow. Not saying you can't run a Widow, but it's a lot more difficult. So I think in this situation, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to see Astro really starting to pop off. And then when we get to the third point, more long sight lines. Maybe Marcus is back on the Widow. Maybe Astro switches to a Widow. Haven't seen it yet, but it's potential. Or maybe they just run Pharah again, right? Whether Agile Squids is attacking or defending, they have the option on first and third point to run spam comp with a Pharah. That's what I predict. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. They might run the Torb. We saw that on Anubis. Corvus Gravity, if they have to deal with double shield, spam, Pharah, maybe a Torb, Ash, the May, whatever. If they have to deal with that spam, just that amount of damage going into their Rhine shield, Corvus Gravity is going to be on the back foot the entire game. And we have not seen Corvus Gravity attempt the double shield spam, fight spam with spam. Mm-hmm. So they're probably going to keep trying to run the Rhine, right? The Rhine D.va. And I think that's going to put them on a back foot if Agile Squids takes advantage of those long sight lines on first and third point.
Here's something to chew on. The only map that Agile Squids have won tonight, they played a Bastion composition. Do you think we're going to see a Bastion composition here or again tonight?
We could see Bastion. We could see Bastion on the very first point, actually. It's typical for a lot of teams to run Bastion. You put them up in the window, down main. It's the window that's right down main as the payload's going up the slight slope. The very first leg, I guess you could call it, if there's 3 legs to each point. The very first leg, a lot of teams will put a Bastion up there. You run Bastion, you run Sig, you run Aristia, and you run a Baptiste, right? You just throw the Immortality Field behind a pillar. It ain't going to get shot. It's free value. It's free value all day. And what are Corvus Gravity going to do? They just have to sit there. Meanwhile, Agile Squids can just rotate if they need to rotate. A lot of easy damage. So I could see a Bastion being ran by Agile Squids.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, if we're talking about Bastion, it seems like we might have the attack Bastion, something along the lines of a modified pirate ship here. One of those classic Overwatch comps where you just sit the Bastion down on the payload and let him roll through the map, dealing out damage as the payload moves. It seems like we have a bit of a classic counter to that composition on the other side, in that May Reaper Zarya Rhine comp, where it's just all about that aggression. Yeah. So
we're gonna see some Overwatch strats here. Agile Squids is gonna push up early, try to use the May wall to keep them in. They'll probably make swaps after they lose. Now the thing about running this type of defense, you have to die fast. If they stagger themselves, they're done.
Yes, it's going to be all about dying on cart here. Looks like a bit of a juke early on here from Corvus, using that other door to get out. The May wall, they wall the Bastion up in the air. This time, Jimbo going to find that kill. Very important kill onto the Bastion here. Blazing Angel does go down to Hidden Squid. Marcus finding Fire Hot Bird after they res the Bastion. Very important there. A big pin there onto Culture there. Blue Lunaris going to pay for it with his life as Jimbo and Spark both go down as well. The King just going to time things out here, wasting a little extra time there. not a bad play when you can contest cart.
He's not just wasting. He's not wasting time. He's wasting respawn. He needs to not do that. You can't have that happen because now they're staggering themselves. This isn't that bad, but it could be a lot worse. Now, you said it was a good charge by Blue Linares, but Blue Linares killed himself with that charge. If you're playing Rhine, I do it all the time. I'm a Rhine main. Don't charge. Don't charge. Let's see what they do with this Bastion setup.
4.4. That's right. As we see that charge early coming in again, Blue Lunaris is going to be the first one to die. Yet again, the King here looking to freeze some people. Hits a big wall there. Going to take it down pretty quick, though, so you can get that damage back on. Jimbo finds the Bastion again here. This time, Marcus going to find Culture and Firehot. This is a big fight here for the Agile Squids. Going to force them off of the point and back into their spawn. Astro not going to get out, playing that Echo. Does already have that Echo ult, which could be very important heading into this next fight.
That could have been very bad for Corvus Gravity. I mean, it was really bad for Corvus Gravity. It could have been really bad for Agile Squids. Corvus Gravity on that Bastion, just no mobility and able to be capitalized on. They lost Blue Linares so fast, but they couldn't punish it, right, with the Bastion.
Talking about engaging, that Astro comes in there with that Echo ultimate, using it there to great effect with the Earth Shatter. Marcus counters though with that Reaper ult. This time Lunaris does land the charge. It'll be onto Culture. It is a bit of a brawl here on the point, using that wall to disengage though. It's just going to be Wheels left out to dry, who does eventually go down. That was a pretty clean fight there for Agile Squids.
And now it's going to be an easy fight again for Agile Squids if they initiate early. They have the option to nano Rhine. They have the option to open up with Blizz. There's a d.va, but they have options here. All they need to do is initiate 1 or 2 ults and take the win and save the other 2. Their choice. Mythical Cat, May ult, only thing they got to worry about.
Talking about the May ult, it does come in here this time from Mythical Cat. Blue Lunaris is going to go down and waste the Shatter as well. The grab comes out from Jimbo, trying to hold some people back. Marcus uses it to get a kill, but Culture with the well-placed Fire Strike takes him out as well. Bit of an early charge here. The King going to invest that Blizzard, but he is going to go down. It'll be interesting to see here. Spark kind of using Boop there, pushing people out of the Blizzard range there, going to try to find Mythical, but does have Ice Block there, able to save herself. It is a brawl here, but only 3 alive for the Agile Squids. This could be trouble. Lunaris and Jimbo both get shattered despite the wall there, and Lunaris getting nanoed here, holds up shield for that Deadeye from Astro, but it is just every which way this fight. Lunaris staying alive against all odds. Oh, and the pin just misses Mythical there, who will still go down, but they two that kind of set it up will pay for it there. Blazing Angel and Lunaris also going down. What's turning into a really long fight here is sort of just a stall, although investing that grab could be trouble. Luckily, I think Firehot Bird maybe panicked a little bit there, or just reactively used that beat, because they might not have needed it there. What do you think, Solid?
He didn't need that beat there. I don't think Jim Blue should have used his ulti either with that grab. Really, it was kind of a messy fight. At the end, I think it all came crashing down when Mythical was able to live on the cart there with that ice block, able to keep pushing the cart. And once he did that, there was just no contest. There was no solid contest from Blue Linares. But now we're going into another fight. We have Nano, we have Bomb, and we have Earthshatter on Agile Squids, and we have a Reaper ult from Marcus, Blue Linares, and X-Spark with their ultimates online as well. That's going to be a huge beat and a huge Earthshatter here coming from Corvus Gravity, I think.
King gets slept up top. It'll be interesting to see if they can capitalize on that. Marcus and Spark, though, up there, trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. The cart does finally get halted here as Lunaris pushes back in. The charge onto the Maywall doesn't find anything. The Earth Shatter doesn't find anything either. The Nano Rhine here from Culture combined with the B-Truff. There's just a lot going on right now, but Astro is going to find a kill onto Marcus mid-ult with that Deadeye. Astro, maybe a little bit of throwback to some earlier maps here, finding that first Deadeye kill of Havana, and it is just Spark stalling on point, and the King, who, you know, dying on cart, is going to stop the point, give the rest of the team time to respawn. Not a bad call there, but definitely not the outcome they wanted in that fight.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Blue Linares wasn't able to get a good Earthshatter on there. We've been seeing these teams just Earthshatter each other back and forth. Culture did a great job with blocking that. And like you said, the King did a good job with stalling that point. I think we're going to see a win here from Agile Squids with the... If he's not slept, Oh,
He does get slept there. He does get his ice block, though, after he gets woken up. Marcus with the first kill onto Astro, but the king goes down to Culture. Blazing Angel and Hidden Squid now trading those anti-grenade kills. The grab bomb combination here doesn't find anybody. It is a 4v4 on point. Lunaris strikes first with Marcus striking second. Those kills should seal the deal here and allow Agile Squids to hold this point. Wheels backing off here, trying to stay in that mech. He's trying desperately to stay in that mech, is going to make it back behind Culture's shield. Only 20 seconds left here. Is Corvus in trouble?
Another fight here. They'll get another fight. They got the Earthshaker. They got the beat. Use speed boost. Nano Urine. And see that Deadeye from Astro from the high ground. All they got to contest it is a May ult and an Earthshaker. I think they can take it. Take the high ground. Be aggressive. Win the fight. Get Astro up there.
They do take the low ground here and immediately get May ulted, though. An early beat here from Firehot Bird is not going to be enough to save them. And that is just an absolute wipe down. Great May ult there, capitalizing on what might have been some poor route planning there. That's going to be it. That should be the end of the push here for Corvus Gravity. Marcus just ults mythical there to finish things off.
I have never seen anybody use the bottom right section of that map. Not once. Not in competitive, not in any scrims I've played. I didn't even know that existed. That's how much I've not seen it and how much I'm not a pro at this game. But I think they misplayed, like you said. They should have done that same thing, but upstairs. There's stairs. Why not just take the stairs? Go upstairs. High ground gives you such an advantage. It lets you pick when you want to engage. Plus, Agile Squids weren't set up on the high ground. They were set up on the low ground. That means you don't have to fight through a choke. That's why they lost that. They fought through a choke. And what does a choke mean? It means your team gets split up. It means focus fire. It means your DPS, if you're the one fighting through the choke, don't get angles to attack the enemy. They should have not done that. They should have just taken the upstairs. It's right there. I mean, look at the map. It's just go upstairs. It's right there. But that's okay. You know, it's a good idea.
Especially
I
since they have a D.va in their composition too, and D.va is really kind of character that thrives on the high ground. So definitely maybe not the best plan there, but they did have the May. They wanted to get through. They wanted to get onto that point as fast as possible, maybe thinking they could trick them there. So we talk about being tricky. Here's a strategy. Going to crouch walk around to this side here. Going to try to close hold. We'll have to see if they get any picks right off the rip.
Yeah, let's see if they do a little bit better than their counterparts on this one, going out the right door. I think they saw it. I think Agile Squids knows what's going on.
Yes, they do, as they should, since they did try the exact same thing. Both walls come out here. It's going to be Firehot Bird going down first here. Not a good start to this hold, as Culture also goes down to Marcus. That Reaper just finding so much value here in these close-range, brawly kind of fights. That seems like it's going to be it there early on that fight. Just die on cart at this point. Stall it as long as you can.
Yeah, they need a die so they can recontest. So now what do you do, right? If you're Corvus Gravity, what do you do? Well, I think you need to push up, take the high ground. You get another fight here for free. Take the high ground and set up your DPS. That's what they're going to have to look for here. Astro probably doesn't really need the high ground. Now they're just mythical cap, but it always helps to be able to initiate on them. But again, they take the low ground, which is fine. They can make it work. They just got to look out for Marcus, and that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about Marcus here on that Reaper, jumping down, engaging here. Astro on the Reaper, though, going to find the first pick here onto the King, who was getting a little close to that May ult, so that's a big pick here. Could stabilize things. Marcus in the back line going to have to use his Wraith there to get out. It is going to be a long charge here from Culture. Probably gets in a little bit too deep here. Have to see if he gets punished. And it is going to be the rest of his team that gets punished by Blue Lunaris with that Shatter, followed up by Marcus with the ult. Everyone gets insanely low. They managed to survive it, but for how long? Doesn't seem like that long at all. Just stalling out on cart here.
Yeah, I didn't think Marcus would drop down so soon. I was kind of expecting him to stay up there, charge his ult, get a few pokes, get some attention, and then go in with his ult. But, you know, it ended up working out. And I think it was really that long charge that you called out, which is...
Yes, and here they are back on the cart. Marcus finding the first pick onto Astro, and the beat comes in. The Wheels, though, able to eat Jimbo's ult. That is trouble here for the Squids. Doesn't seem like it's going to sink them completely, though, as a very big anti comes out from Blazing Angel. It's just chasing around the last few kills on point now. Lunaris, Marcus, and Spark cleaning things up. pretty easily. Astro gets on, not going to mean much. Just a bit of a stall out here, trying to deplete that time bank a little bit going into this next point.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because now you see online, you're going to get the Earth Shatter. So Agile Squids are going to get the Earth Shatter. They have the Nano. They might get the Reaper ult up. Corvus Gravity has a huge ult bank here for this next fight. I think they're going to be able to hold it, and that's what they need to do. They need to hold it at this first corner.
They need to get some momentum back, and they're going to try to use the D.Va Bomb to do it. Lunaris goes down to Culture before it even goes off, and that could be an early retreat here for the Agile Squids. They're going to have to try to fight it without a Reinhardt or get out, and it seems like the option is to get out, using that Mei wall sort of to disengage.
Yeah, so now they got the payload stalled at a point that forces the enemy team to pick. Which side do we go in on, right? We can go right, or we can go left. If you're the attacking side, you can go left or go left. The point is, this sort of forces them into a weird choke.
Talk about forcing through a choke. A great shadow there from Lunaris puts the Moira on the ground there, but it's not going to be enough there. Just too much damage, I think, coming out here, and like you're talking about, pushing through that choke, just very tough. Mythical Cat putting out a lot of damage on that Echo, 80% now to that Echo ultimate. Probably going to try to mirror Reinhardt or Zarya to get yet another tank ultimate up. This time, seems like it's going to be a push from the right-hand side here. Maybe take the stairs to high ground. That's exactly what they're going to do, is they get walled off there. So it's going to be a high ground push here, which you were talking about. You wanted to see Marcus. Maybe they don't see him yet. Maybe not. Going to be a quick nano boost in for that Reaper. The ult also comes out, but the beat and the defense matrix is going to completely neutralize it. The Blizzard, though, follows it up, and a very aggressive beat here. Those ults seem like they're going to be enough. The Echo ult does get used there as well, and it's actually is going to get a beat off from it. Seems to be more of a stall here than an actual fight, though, as the Grav comes in. Maybe a little bit of overkill there, but it does clean up the fight. Say what you will about using too many ults. The point is moving again.
They should have held on to that beat, but I like that it actually ended up bringing out the Grav from Jim Blue. A bit of a misplay. Now, what do if you're Corvus Gravity? Well, I'll tell you. You initiate with the Mei ult onto the point, you use Coalescence, and you speed boost in, and you start swinging. Block the Shatter. It will come online. Come on, Culture. Block it. And then you go at a stalled point.
Yes, we are going to see both Shatters online during this fight. It'll be interesting to see who can put who on the ground as both Rhines start on the ground. Culture does get frozen here. Talk about a Shatter there. Lunaris gets it up fast, gets people on the ground, but still ends up dying. Maybe not enough heals there, maybe too much damage. Whatever it is, it's going to be catastrophic for the Agile Squids' hopes of winning this fight. As the King also goes down, Marcus falls as well. And it is just the supports trying desperately to get out here. Bit of a stagger, chase down sort of deal here. Lucio does get out, but Lucio always gets out.
I am completely baffled that Astro held on to that Mei ult. That is a great play. I thought that was a misplay. I thought they were going to be able to bring it back. Agile Squid is going to be able to win the fight. But he held on to it. Now he has it for the next fight, which is perfect because the King just got his online. Maybe he understood that on this last fight, King was going to get his Mei ult online. So I need my ult to cancel his. We have to win this fight, and I have to hold on to it. Let's see what happens next.
Yes, and we are about to see that right now as a huge pin from Lunaris comes in onto Culture, dueling Mei ults, but it might be the D.Va Bomb over the top. That's the difference. Lunaris finds two with a Fire Strike after getting nanoed. The bomb does kill the King, but Angel is going to take out Mythical Cat, and the Wheels is going to lose his mech again. Seems like Agile Squids has this fight pretty well under control. Hidden Squid goes down last, and that is going to be the fight. That could even be the map, depending on if they're able to keep people on cart here or not. Culture gets on, Shatters one, but it's not going to be enough. Luckily, they have a second Reinhardt waiting the rings here, as it's Mythical Cat up in the air now on that Echo. The stall is coming in. It doesn't seem like the kills are coming in yet, though. The Grav doesn't get anybody, but the Reaper ult does. It's going to find Mythical Cat. Blue Lunaris also going to take down Firehot Bird. Astro goes down here as well. This seems to be it, unless some miracle happens here with Culture just getting 6 kills all of a sudden, which I don't seem to see happening. This map is going to go the way of the Agile Squids. Couple more stalls here, a few more contests, and we should have this thing all locked up. Mythical comes out trying to put in a little bit of damage, trying to touch, but is going to get killed before she can. Agile Squids have evened it up 2-2.
That last fight, you saw the king had his ultimate with the May, able to throw it out there, and Astro had his as well. Also on the May, able to throw it out there. Who got more value in the end? Well, it's going to be Agile Squids. They just had more value from the May ult. They were able to capitalize on it more. They caught more people in it. Agile Squid just won on the offensive side. I mean, yeah, they were pushing the point, but they were just in a better position to take advantage of it. And I think that's what ended up really ending the fight and giving it to Agile Squids was so many people got frozen, and their supports, Corvus Gravity, their supports got frozen by the King's May ult. And once your supports get frozen, they can't beat, they can't heal. That's when things start to go downhill. And I think that was the difference between Agile Squid's May ult and Corvus Gravity's May ult. Corvus Gravity, their supports got locked into a May ult, and that's it. That was just it. And that's where the fight just went downhill from there for Corvus Gravity.
Yeah, I have to agree. The May ult there, super important in turning that fight. And yeah, it's really important for the supports, maybe even to play a little spread from each other so that if one goes down, the other one stays up, that sort of thing. Making sure that there's always some healing output. Going forward, we've got a completely even series now. It's like we're starting at 0-0. You know, both teams have really showed why they deserve to win here. I think no matter who ends up winning this series, we have two high quality teams. It is 2-2 now. You know, we have anywhere from 2 to 3 maps left. What do you think? What's our outcome going to be? Who would you take in this series, having watched both teams win 2 maps?
I'm not going to give my bets here. I think that would be a disservice to both teams. I think both teams are doing fantastic. Agile Squids was able to get their ground back. They were able to get some confidence. We saw some kills being traded between Astro and Marcus, and I think that's really going to help it up. I think honestly, it's going to come down to these DPS lineups because once again, Astro went on to the May, and so did King. So Astro, King, Mythical Cat, Marcus. Like, who was playing May before? It was Mythical Cat. Well, now all of a sudden it's Marcus. That doesn't make any sense, right? Usually you kind of want to play the same one. These guys are swapping, right? I think this is a battle of the DPS, and as much as I hate to see it with the 10-minute queues or the 20-minute, depending on your rank, I guess GMs are up to like 15 and 20 and 30-minute queues for DPS.
Yeah, it depends on the time of day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Mine are 10 minutes, right? I'm just a plat guy. But I don't want to praise the DPS way too much. But right now, I think it really is a battle of the DPS. Yes, we got Culture. Yes, we got Blunaris that are holding the front lines, doing a great job. We got Firehopper that is just doing phenomenal on Lucio. Credit is due. You know, I'll give credit where it's due. But I think it's going to be up to those 4 players forcing the other out of their comfort zone and forcing their tanks. So Astro being like, hey, Culture, I need you to do more for me, bud. I can't get these kills, or hey, I got picked, so now you got to be more aggressive or be more defensive. I think that's what's really shaping this game, and I can't give it to one or the other because it seems like all 4 of these players, Marcus, King, Mythical, and Astro, are just really just in such a heated 1v1s that it just depends on who ends up winning, winning their 1v1 duels.
Yes, absolutely. I think too, when you're talking, I really liked what you said about forcing them out of their comfort zones. I feel like the King, who we talked about coming into this as potentially the finals MVP, we're talking about how important he was. He got forced off of that Pharah through the first 3 maps pretty easily and didn't even pull it out on the 4th map. So talk about forcing people out of their comfort zones. I think Corvus Gravity has done a really good job with that. And that's why they're able to even it up, Rear. And have, even last map still went into overtime. The map that they lost the first time also went into overtime. It's been very, very close, I think, for Corvus Gravity, even when they're losing, because, like you said, they're forcing them out of their comfort zone. Astro is popping off. He's hitting all of his shots that he needs to. And Mythical Cat, she looks very calm, very composed, seems to just always know where to put that wall. Doing very good work there on May. Got to see her on the Junkrat again. Shout out to Junkrat. I think we are going to Busan right now. Okay, so what are you expecting on Busan? Do you think it's about time the King gets back on his Pharah, or are we going to see some more of that May Reaper action?
I think we're going to see more May Reaper action on Busan. I really do. I don't think he's comfortable going with the far. And again, this is, as I said, and as you emphasized, is putting players out of their comfort zone. So I do think we're going to go with more Reaper. And on this one, there's not a whole lot of rotations that you can do. And I know I mentioned that those 4 players are really going to determine the match. But I also want to bring attention to the rotations that we saw on the last map, that we saw in Anubis, that we saw even in Numbani, right? The rotations are just amazing. So I think if we focus on like who's the shot caller, doesn't matter who, but if we focus on the teams as a whole before they even initiate and which ults they are using and committing, that's also having a huge play in these games. So if those 4 players cancel each other out by forcing the other out of their comfort zone, forcing them to play characters they're not good with or don't like or don't excel in, we got to look at these rotations. We got to look at this tank lineup. We got to look at what they're doing, what they're committing, how they're moving, because ultimately that's what's going to win you the game is better position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be about a positioning battle here, especially moving on to Busan. This first map is all about positioning, playing around that drum in the middle. We do see a Rhine Zarya composition here from Agile Squids, and on the side of Corvus Gravity, a Rhine d.va. They also have Mythical on that Echo. Sar finds some pretty effective plays last map, maybe not as effective as they were hoping. They do take point first here, 10 seconds until the point unlocks, but a huge anti and Maywall coming out from Blazing Angel and the King. That's going to be enough to find those 2 opening picks onto Culture and Astro, and the feed rolls in as Lunaris and Jimbo clean things up. Echo flies away as fast as possible. Fast first fight, man.
You mentioned the Maywall, great Maywall, but Marcus wasn't mentioned there on a great flank. So this goes back into that positioning and that rotating. Agile Squids took the flank. They had a second flanker, Marcus, go all the way around. And we see an early pick there by the King. This might be it. They might be able to push this one in.
Yes, and Jimbo also goes down. That is going to be probably enough to get him onto point at least. And yeah, Astro just fragging out here, finds yet another kill. That is going to be enough. They're just going to have to sit here and cap point. Although Spark sitting on that high ground, she does not want to give up that drum. It's going to have to be Firehot Bird and Astro going up there to get her out of there. That is the point, flipping over.
As I was saying before, the rotations and what route you take, the aggression that you take it in, this is what we're seeing right now. These teams are doing some not weird rotations, but they're doing some aggressive rotations, and one team's getting punished while the other doesn't. And we're seeing it again right now from Agile Squids.
Yeah, absolutely. Agile Squids pushing in hard here. Not as effective as Maywall this time, as it does seem like Corvus is able to back off. Astro finds 2 before Jimbo takes him down. That could be enough to win this fight. Going to use the nano boost here, trying to find those last few picks. A good Maywall here from the King forces Culture now to sort of just walk around the point and waste that nano boost almost. But it does force the rest of Agile Squids to back off, meet back up with Blue Lunaris, and look to push this again.
Yeah, they're probably going to be aggressive here again, using that Lucio speed boost and just going for it. Just full send. Just full send.
Talk about a full send. Culture with the Earth Shatter there, putting Lunaris on the ground. Astro going to follow it up with a 4K. Might as well just tack in a couple more with that Deadeye there. Astro has just been phenomenal with these flanks, with that Deadeye. It has been too much for the Agile Squids to handle on a map-to-map basis. Gonna just find Marcus there at the end for good measure. Man, Astro looks good.
I almost feel like both these teams have practiced this map specifically because there's no hesitation on where they're going. They say, we're going this way, they go, and they're speeding in, and they just commit just fully commit to the fight, brawling it out. And I love to see these quick brawls. I really do. As a Rhine main, I love.
The decisiveness is really doing both teams a big service here. The Grav comes in, followed up by a big anti-nade this time from Hidden Squid. It's going to be enough to force them out of the Grav, but the ult coming in from the King will take down Culture. Now a D.va Bomb to sort of stall things out here. Marcus doesn't let Wheels remech, and then a big shatter here from Lunaris to clean things up. Marcus gonna find all the kills off of that. That was a very good retake there from Agile Squids. Now they've got to pretty much win every fight from here on out.
Blue Lunaris didn't need to use that Earth Shatter, although, again, as a Rhine main, I understand the thirst for blood. But he didn't need it, and not having that threat not having the enemy team be like, hey, the Rhine has ult, the Rhine has ult, forces or allows Culture to put his shield down more, and that's not a good. You don't want it.
Well, talking about a shield war right now, Astro just probably waiting on that shield to go down here, has that Deadeye up yet again. Marcus gonna find the first pick though, this time onto Firehot Bird. Astro this time doesn't find anything. Lunaris does lose his barrier though. The King goes down to Astro, who has switched onto that Echo. Astro now just looking for more of these kills here. Flash fans Jimbo, who will be finished off by a Culture Fire Strike. Lunaris and Marcus though, very busy in the meantime, taking out Wheels and Astro. This is a fight is going back and forth here. They do commit a lot of ults here, but the Deadeye comes out, and without a shield to protect him, Hidden Squid goes down to it. X-Spark and Lunaris just sort of bully Culture off the point, despite the nano, and now at 93%, this could be over. It's up to the Wheels here. Probably going to have to get in on that touch. Right now, it's Firehot Bird. Next, it's Wheels, who does manage to get on there. Still on that point. Marcus takes him down, though. This is just not looking good here. What looked like a very promising fight turned into something not great for Corvus Gravity.
Yeah, in this fight, so we saw early on, I think it was about 60%, 70%, Blue Lunaris charged in, got a kill. I thought he would get punished there, but he ended up living and demeching their D.va. I think he even killed the Wheels on Corvus Gravity. So Blue Lunaris getting value out of, once again, a charge that I personally don't agree on. And then just a few moments later, we saw Corvus Gravity invest the nano onto their Rhine. Their Rhine, that was their moment to stabilize. Again, I thought they probably should have regrouped, but it's okay, right? I'm okay with it because they could have stabilized there, and they started to stabilize. And as you said, the shield went down, and the Deadeye went right on. I believe it was Hidden Squid, went right on to Hidden Squid on the Ana for Corvus Gravity, and that put down all their healing. Culture charged in, just too much, too eager for blood with that nano. That charge, I think, cost them. They had a moment to stabilize. They had a moment to win the fight, and they threw it away. And
yeah, it was Lunaris' charge too. Lunaris had a very good charge that I think took away that shield. So when we're talking about, you know, lots of different uses of that Rhine charge as we get in here, gonna have to see who ends up finding it first. Early wall here, talking about Mythical on that Mei again, finding a lot of value, but this time it's Culture who gets frozen. Lunaris gonna be the first to fall though. Mythical gets antied, and Astro gets slept. Big plays there from Blazing Angel to neutralize the DPS, and it's still anybody's fight. The point has opened up. No one's quite ready to go there. Culture gets pushed out to the side here. Going to go down to X-Spark. Too much pressure there. It is going to be an attempted capture here from Firehot Bird, but they are just not going to have enough to cap it. Going to have to take the long way down. Quick end to that fight.
Yeah, both main tanks went down. I could have sworn Blue and ours went down pretty fast. Typically, when the main tank goes down, that's the end of the team fight. But the Agile Squids was able to rotate just enough for Blue and ours to get back to the fight and kind of finish it up there. And now we're looking at a fight where Grav is going to be coming online for the Agile Squids. Jimbo probably looking for an early Grav here and able to win the fight if he gets...
Great Maywall combo there, though, between Lunaris and the King. The Maywall does come down, though, and Lunaris hasn't recovered quick enough. Does get punished there by Astro. All of a sudden, it's a retreat to the point here. Blazing Angel and Jimbo trying desperately to stay alive. Talk about fast ultimates. There's Astro with yet another high noon. Finds two, Culture finds one, and why not add another one for Astro there? Just going to be in here doing a lot of damage as this point does try to get stalled out. He's going to get mid-40s here for the Agile Squids. Not a bad start. Going to have to get in fast with those ults, though. They do have 6 online.
So now their chances for Corvus Gravity is just to hold this choke. Pick a choke and hold it. They're going to be rotating, though. Agile Squids probably going to the right side underneath. Oh, we got a pause going on here, but look at all the ultimates that are online regardless. Like you said, 6 ultimates online. Agile Squids is going to be able to push out no matter which direction they choose to go. Corvus Gravity, they really, if you think about it, they need to hold up and they need to use the Mei ult early. If they don't do that, they're going to lose the fight. They're going to lose. Even if they use the mail early, they're going to lose with all these ultimates that are online, but at least gives them a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. There does seem to be a bit of an issue right now, so we are in a pause. But while we are here, like you said, coming into this next fight, it's going to be all about that Mei ult, from Corvus, Mythical Cat, trying to get that down. But Like you said, there's 6 alts online for the side of the Agile Squids. Discord is acting up. Someone is restarting it. Okay, so we do have a cause of the problem. Shouldn't take too long. Seems like we'll be able to get back into it pretty quickly here.
Yeah. And I want to go back to this point about the rotations, right?
Yes,
I,
please
I really
do.
want to bring that up about the rotations because both these teams are rotating like they're professionals. Like, I've been watching a lot of Overwatch League. I've been following it since well, not since season one, but I've been following it this entire season for the last 14 weeks. Hence why I kind of wanted to be a caster. But I've been following it for this entire season, right? And the rotations that these teams make are not only how grouped up they are during the rotations, there's no hesitation, but the routes that they choose and the decisions that they make based off what the enemy is doing really does feel like professional Overwatch. I hate to say it, guys. I know the viewers out there are like, nah, 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 nah. Go watch an Overwatch League match. Don't pay attention to individual players. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not what we're here for. Pay attention to them as a team, as synergy. If you want to deal with what Overwatch League players deal with, and get that experience, you join an amateur league, join Overwatch Pretenders, find a team and join them. I guarantee you will get that feeling. You feel like a pro, just like I feel like a real caster, right? Because these
Yeah.
rotations are really, that is the same rotations pros use. And it's just amazing to see. Why are they not taking the staircase? The typical one that we all do on solo queue during competitive. Because they know the enemy's going to go there. That's the default spot. So they just chose a different route.
Seems like our pause has ended here. Just gonna get right back into the action. Seems like Marcus is gonna go for a teleport behind. They don't see him. He's gonna go in. He does have ult here. Seems like it's a retreat back to point for the Agile Squids. Maybe knowing that May ult is gonna come in. They do play the space, and nobody is gonna end up frozen. Lunaris with a pin there. Going to get punished for it almost instantly. The ults are coming in now, though, for the Squids. The freeze and the Reaper ultimate. Nano onto him, maybe for good measure. It's going to turn it into a 5k for Marcus. That will be plenty for the Agile Squids to flip the point.
Not to say Overwatch League, because I already kind of figured they were going to blow all of their ultimates on that one. But really, they won the fight with the Rhine charge into the D.Va and then the Blizz to follow it up. They tried to save the Rhine, didn't happen, but that was a great combination there. The rest of the balls, they kind of...
Yep, and we do get into this next fight now. Using that grab, which is their last ult online. Astro again with the Deadeye does find Marcus, but not before Jimbo does find Firehopbird. The grab follow-up is going to be too much. That's a team kill. That is the end of the Happy Squids on this point for now. Corvus looking now to push, maybe trying to hold this all the way up until 99. They can win just maybe 2 more fights. They probably secure this map here. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. The D.Va bomb comes out early. Yes, super early. Going to be able to pretty easily block that if you're Blue Lunaris. Does get down pretty low health-wise. They're going to have to slow down and hold him up. Talking about getting held up, though, Jimbo goes down. Mythical Cat with another excellent wall there. That's a full retreat for the Agile Squids.
Full retreat for the Agile Squids. They're going to try and push it to the right, but they do have a May ult that's going to come into the next X fight. X-Spark on the Lucio for Agile Squids. Going to have its beat. Blaze and Angel going to have Nano. They're going to go underneath here. They're going to rotate underneath, and they're probably going to Nano the Rhine, maybe the Reaper, and just get up there and...
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the Reaper there. Wheels gets a huge eat there onto the King. Marcus does take down Culture in response. The mech goes down. Astro looking to do some more work. How does this guy have so many freaking Deadeyes? That's another 2k on the Deadeye. Wheels comes in, not before Marcus finds 2, though Hidden Squid finding the kill onto him. That could be enough to secure this point here. Oh my goodness, it is back and forth here. Spark now with a last-ditch attempt to stall it out. That's going to be it, though. Nobody is going to be able to touch here for the Agile Squids. Corvus tying it up 1-1 here on Busan.
Yeah, that was actually a really good matchup there. I thought the Nano was going to go onto the Reaper, pumping some more damage to them. They actually ended up, Agile Squids, Blaze and Angel actually ended up putting on a Jimbo on the Zarya for Agile Squids, and I don't think he got a whole lot of value from that. He kept getting blocked up by Riot Shield, he kept getting poked down, and then we just saw Astro just come in with an ultimate. I think he was from the high ground, so once again, you give Astro an off angle, he's going to abuse it. And that's their win condition, it feels like, and he ended up taking down it, completely negating the Nano Zarya. So now going into this next battle here, pretty even matchup. I think I honestly think with the Lucio with Firehot Bird on Lucio is going to give Corvus Gravity more of an advantage here. And so
Talking about early
is
advantages, though, the King with that Torb Widow combination. Marcus on that Widow on the high ground. Torb turret already finding 2 kills. This time it's Astro, who does take down Lunaris, but Blazing Angel is able to take down Culture. Both teams without a Reinhardt now. Seems like this fight is going to go the way of the Agile Squids. A hammer kill there for the King. Why not add a second one tonight in the finals here, and a third for good measure. A little bit of BM, a little bit of skill maybe with that Torb hammer, a little time spent in the 1v1s.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where if you let Marcus, the Widow, get control of the high ground, they can do a lot of damage, but typically they don't, because as long as you play on the point, you're okay, and that's why I thought Corvus Gravity had a bit of advantage with the Lucio, just sit up on point and brawl it out, but they are really letting Widow just get too much of an advantage. So let's see if they rotate properly and maybe just sit underneath the bridge and play on the point and force Widow to rotate and just basically put her out of position.
Talking about rotating properly, they get on the point pretty easily here. Not a lot of pressure from the Widow. Astro does manage to find that Torb turret. Talk about the Widow, though. Grapple shot there from Marcus, taking down Mythical Cat. That is hard to do. Does get punished for it, though. Does fall to Culture, and Astro, always seeming to find the timely kills, does take down Spark. So no Lucio and no... Oh man, the D.va Bomb comes out here. The Earth Shatter does as well. Jimbo is going to take down Astro here. This fight is still back and forth, which does benefit Agile Squids. Remember, they are in control of the point. Spark, she makes it back from spawn just in time to kill Culture. The King takes out Wheels, and the King takes out Mythical Cat too. Why not? That Torb turret popping off.
I didn't see the Widow. I saw her do the grapple. I didn't see it in POV. To get the shot on there. But that's the rotate I was talking about that they needed to do. It forced the Widow away from that high ground, but she was still able, Marcus was still able to get the shot onto the Mei there. That would be Mythical Cat, but now Mythical Cat going in with an ultimate, Torb going in with an ultimate, the King. So really it's an even fight here as far as ultimate advantage. It's an even fight.
Corvus has done a good job saving up ults, and we see Mythical now going to try to put that ultimate to use here, using that Mei ult, trying to freeze some people. Maybe nobody here to be frozen, though. The Torb ult does come out, but not quick enough. It's going to allow Corvus to recapture the point. Not too bad to give up as Jimbo finds a pick with that D.Va Bomb. The High Noon comes out from Astro. Not going to find anybody, and Jimbo's going to take him down. Jimbo finding all the kills they need right now. This could be really good for Agile Squids. They could secure yet another map win here. This is probably the last fight if Agile Squids manages to win it. Lunaris goes charging into the back line. Isn't going to get punished for it. Mythical Cat swaps to the Tracer here. Finds a kill onto Marcus and takes out the Torb turret. While Lunaris is still just swinging around on point there. Finding every kill he needs as well. Fire shot trying desperately to stay alive here. Hidden Squid goes super low, manages to fade back a little bit here. Does get killed there by the King. Earth Shatter comes in from Culture, shatters several there on the side of the Agile Squids. All of a sudden, this fight has turned around. Astro switches to the Widow now. Fire Hot Bird gets pinned. Lunaris finds 2. Marcus also finds Mythical here. This is one of the most ridiculous fights I've seen. Somehow, it's gotten all the way to 60% for Corvus Gravity without them winning the fight. Really impressive stall there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They may not be able to recontest here. It's going to be all up to Mythical here on this Tracer and Firehot on that Lucio. The King, using that turret to his advantage, takes down Firehot. Jimbo eating that Pulse Bomb, which could have been a game changer. Astro on the Doom is going to go down to Blazing as well. The picks coming in here for Agile Squids. It's a stall game now for Corvus Gravity. They may not be able to pull this out. This is a tough fight here, especially with ults now coming in. The Torbjorn ultimate on point. That is a lot of damage out, although it does seem like Wheels has an ult there as well. He is going to fall to that Torb ult right before it goes away, and the beat comes out just to secure things here. That is going to be it for Busan. Agile Squids now takes a narrow 3-2 lead in the series.
Yeah, they were able to capitalize on more of their ultimates. That Widowmaker coming into play more than I thought it kind of would. Oh, look at Astro getting to play of the game. Not shocked. It really did come into play at the end of the that last map there. For the Widowmaker. And I didn't think that she did as much value as she did, but it was just enough, right? It was just enough. Because if you think about it, what do you have to do as a Widowmaker, right? You got to pick maybe two, and that's usually the team fight. But what if you don't get a pick as a Widowmaker? What are you forcing the enemy team to do? Well, you're making them take rotations they're not comfortable with. This goes back into that conversation we had earlier, forcing the enemy out of their comfort zone. And that's what a Widowmaker can do. If a Widowmaker proves that they can get a pick within the first shot or within the first like engagement, that's enough. You're going to respect that sniper. You have to. You can't just disrespect it because then you're going to get punished for it. And it forced Corvus Gravity into a position they didn't want to be in, the fight they didn't want to take, an angle that doesn't allow them to do what they want to do. And I think that's what we really kind of saw there.
Yeah, I have to agree. There was just the Widowmaker disrupting, I think, was just too much for Corvus to handle. Maybe Marcus didn't find kills every fight, didn't hard carry things like, you might expect if we were going to say, oh, this player was a huge difference maker, but they were definitely a difference maker. Marcus found ways, that grapple shot, that was really something special. Not sure if we had spectator cam on him for that, but man, it was impressive. I think too that Blue Lunaris, despite being a little over aggressive at times, the aggression really did pay off there. He was able to get in some of those fights and find some just first picks kind of out of nowhere, either with a pin or with a fire strike. Just really good work there from Lunaris as well.
Yeah, and because this is a lower EOL game, and I'm a low EOL too, and there's going to be some people that watch this. I mean, I'm not saying that any of our viewers are these types of people, but I just want to emphasize this point. So going back to my point about the Widowmaker and forcing the enemy team out of their comfort zone, right? Astro has been doing a lot of damage. He's been taking off angles that he really shouldn't be taking, but he's getting away with it unpunished. So maybe if you're Astro and their Widowmaker, the enemy Widowmaker, Marcus, on Agile Squids, is in a position to shoot you in the head, maybe if I'm Astro, I'm not going to take that position. I need to respect that sight line or I'm going to get punished. So now all of a sudden my DPS is less effective because I'm not taking the angles that it requires. So maybe if your Widow isn't popping off, and you're like, oh, well, you didn't get a Widow pick. Oh, you know how we all seen that toxicity that comes in Overwatch. Maybe they're doing just enough and you're just not capitalizing on it, right? Maybe they're not, the enemy team is playing in a position they shouldn't be, they don't want to play in, right? I just wanted to emphasize that point because we all like to blame the Widow. If you're a toxic player, you will blame the Widow. And it's unfortunate because sometimes they are doing their job just by existing. And that's one of the biggest things about Widow. Exist and you might be doing your job.
Absolutely. It's about the pressure. It's about the sight lines. It's about the sense of danger a Widow on the playing field creates for the other team. Could at any moment be down 2 players just because the Widow decided it was time to hit a couple shots. So you got to respect that. You got to play around that. Like you were saying, we have another potential Widow map coming up next. We have King's Row. That first point attack, Widowmaker can be used pretty effectively there. We'll have to see if that ends up happening or if it's going to be some more May Reaper or if it's going to be some double shield. I don't really know what to expect here going into this. You got any ideas, Solid?
So this is kind of a weird one, right? This tends to be a Ryan Zarya map, and we have seen Agile Squids run the Ryan Zarya. I thought Agile Skills was going to be running spam this entire time, but they're not. They're showing that they're fully capable of running Ryan Zarya. So I kind of do expect that. We've seen Pharah, we've seen Widow. We've even seen Hanzo, and Hanzo's really good on this map as well from Agile Squids. So Agile Squids, we're just gonna have to wait the 5 seconds to see what they choose to do. But they're so versatile. Meanwhile, Corvus Gravity, not very versatile, right? They've run Echo, Reaper, May, and McCree. So we know what they're going to be running as far as DPS. Tanks have not changed yet. So I think, and here we go. So it's going to be the May Reaper, for Agile Squids with the Baptiste. The Baptiste is a little bit of a weird one, right? I think that should be a Moria. Moria, I'm sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing that. I think that should be the heal bot, and I'm fine with the Brigitte. Hidden Squid on the Anna, little bit of advantage. They're kind of going for a divey comp here. No, they swap over to the Rhine. So this is going to be kind of a weird one. I like to see the Sombra. I think they're going to get a lot of value since they haven't ran it yet. They just got to look for that good hack. But really, I think the advantage is going to go for Corvus Gravity here.
They are going to use that Sombra to scout just a little bit here. They know what to expect now. Going to have to see if they're going to make any changes. They do hop right onto that Echo. It's going to be Echo Mei here going forward. Probably going to try to get some sort of counterplay on their Mei with that wall, and then use the Echo to play in the sky, trying to keep the team, the damage dealers, out of harm's way. Wheels is able to take down Blue Lunaris, but Culture goes down to Jimbo. With both Reinhardts down, it is still an even fight here. Zarya goes down, though, for the side of the Agile Squids, and all of a sudden, things are going very wrong. It seems like Wheels is able to take down Spark there, and this fight could be over barely before it's even started. They just sort of work their way onto the point, and that'll be first to Corvus Gravity, assuming they can stop the Mei here from stalling. They do seem to have things on lockdown here.
Yeah, so both Reinhardts go down super early in the fight, and the reason that I said Corvus Gravity had kind of an advantage here is because they're running the Ana, whereas Agile Squids was running the BAP. What do you get from BAP, right? You get the Immortality Field, but what does the Immortality Field do when you're running Brawl and you can't hide it behind a corner? It doesn't do a whole lot, and that's why I gave the advantage to Corvus Gravity, and I'm going to continue to give that advantage to them, but they did swap to the Mercy Pharah, so we might see a bit of a duel between Astro and the King. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but Ana taken down early.
Yeah, the King finding some value here early. Also on about Lucio, which is so important for a good Rein Zarya composition. Astro gonna win that first duel and then try to pin on the Reinhardt. Can't quite get it though. Going to also lose that ultimate there. Maybe not the best investment, but Marcus does fall there to Astro's grenades. This could be a big fight here if they can get some capitalization on this Moira ult. Really now, it's just kiting here for the side of Agile Squids, giving up a little bit of space until they can strike back, and Blue Lunaris does strike back, pinning Culture there. Just no idea that was coming. Jimbo going to take down Squid, and all of a sudden this fight has turned on a dime. Astro still winning those duels in the sky. Maybe it's because Blazing Angel is out battle mercying Mythical Cat, but man, that was a really good play there from Blue Lunaris.
I think Astro is still going to be putting on pressure to the King. They're gonna Corvus Gravity's going to have to look off the barrage, right? The King is going to come with the barrage, and he's going to be coming hard. They got a lot of ultimates online. This is basically a one fight. They might want to think about a dry run if you're Corvus Gravity, but it's okay if you don't. Maybe get the Nano onto the Rhine and just pushing hard. But Astro's going to give a lot of pressure to the King, and that's going to be it. But the Hidden Squids can't be dying this early in the fights every time.
Yes, cannot be losing those early fight battles, I guess. Talk about an early fight loss there. Culture goes down, but a huge sleep there from Hidden Squid onto the barrage. Probably won't be enough to win them this fight, though. Hidden Squid again trying to make those big plays, killing Blue Lunaris, but again, it's just not going to be enough. The picks are coming in. King and Marcus are just putting in the work, both of them finding several during that fight, despite the good play there from Hidden Squid to sort of put a stop to that Pharah barrage.
I'm a little mad at Firehopper for investing that ultimate. Maybe they thought if they invested it, they'd force out the ults, but the ults were already forced off. So that was the dry run that I wanted to see. Now, no ultimates online for Agile Squids. This should be an easy fight. Just open up with a D.va bomb, maybe get an Earthshatter when you turn his shield around. Hidden Squid, Nano somebody, Nano whoever you want.
Yes, and it'll be interesting here. You were right about the opening with the D.Va Bomb. That comes in, takes out Blazing Angel. No res now, and no pocket for the Pharah. Culture also going to be able to take out Blue Lunaris. The Nano Boost comes in a little bit late here after the first two picks have already been had. They're trying to take out Marcus, who's doing a very good job stalling that point using his Wraith form there. Astro does win that duel against the King yet again on that Echo, proving that maybe Echo is the better hero in the sky than Pharah. She is a little bit hard to beat, I will say that. The King does get revived here, though. Maybe doesn't know that Astro's behind him. The duel is back in the sky, but the King with two direct hits. Wow, that is impressive Pharah play there from the King, who then promptly gets taken down by Mythical Cat. Blue Lunaris, though, striking back, taking down Firehot Bird there. A big Earth Shatter comes in, along with that May ult there from Mythical Cat. That could be enough to capture this point here. Jimbo in the back can't survive despite the Valkyrie there from Blazing Angel. Blue Lunaris now just getting forced back and back off of this point here. A lot of healing going into him, keeping him up there somehow. Hidden Squid does manage to take down Blazing Angel, and Blue Lunaris finally falls after losing his Mercy.
I'm not happy with that fight, even though Corvus Gravity was able to win it. If Culture and the rest of his team would have just pushed up to the next corner, they potentially could have stopped that res that Blazing Angel had onto the King. And just by stopping that res that stopped Blue Lunaris from being able to commit to that fight, just push up. If you're a tank, push up. You have so much space to work with. They're respawning. Push up, use the May ult early. But hey, this is where we are right now, so let's see what they take.
Yeah, absolutely. This fight is just getting right into the swing of things here. As the wall comes out, it's not quite a perfect wall as Lunaris is able to escape around the outside of it. Culture knew it, didn't push it too hard. Jimbo sends the grab out, but is taken down. A big fire strike comes through, getting a lot of people low. Marcus is able to take out Culture as a result. The D.Va Bomb does take out Blazing Angel. These ults are going every direction right now. Astro able to get on that Reinhardt and get the charge onto Marcus there, stopping that ultimate. Now all of a sudden it's Lunaris again trying to solo stall this point against 3, maybe 4, 5 members here of Corvus. He just will not be able to do it after a well-timed anti comes in from Hidden Squid, who has been playing very well on that Ana. Marcus does manage to finally put a stop to Astro, though, and the King does take down Wheels, so it's going to have to be a retreat here. About 90 seconds left for Corvus's attack. What do they have to do to finish this point off?
Well, they're going to have to invest ults. I mean, that's obvious, right? The May ult to open it up, the Earth Shatter, the beat. Honestly, just beat, amp in, May ult, and then swing away, nano Urine if you need to. But I do want to point out a huge play that Hidden Squid made on that last fight in the corner. The Agile Squids was looking for a barrage. They were going to jump from high ground and look for a barrage from the back. Hidden Squid shut it down with a sleep, and I just wanted to point that out. I'm sure a lot of people saw it, but it was huge, huge sleep. But now they need to amp, beat, and May ult. That's what they're looking for here.
All right, the Wheels gets very low on the high ground. Very low. Does get brought back up, though, after a well-timed anti from X-Spark. The King is going to take down Mythical Cat. Mythical Cat does get her ultimate off, and they take Ryan into the back line, but that's going to be a bad play, as Marcus is able to use that as an opportunity to find 2 with the Deadeye, and Lunaris shatters the back line for good measure after surviving the charge. So that is a tough fight. That was pretty much everything. Well, not quite everything, but that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit of a dry run. So here we go again. They invested the freeze, and that might have drew out a few ultimates, but they're going to have to worry about the grab. Jimbo might be able to get it online. They're going to need to beat early and speed in. Just beat when he starts swinging and speed in. Like, that's what you need to look for.
A big wall comes out here. It is going to be enough to eventually take down Lunaris, and Wheels finally taking control of that high ground, taking out Pharah, who does get back up thanks to the res, but Blazing Angel pays for it with their life. King goes down again. Astro finding the pick onto Marcus. All the kills are here. If they can stop this stall, they will capture the point here, and it seems like they will. Lunaris can't get back in there quite fast enough.
But this is what I want to point out, right? You got 3 ults online. I know Astros just came online, but you had the Lucio beat and you had the Earth Shatter online, and they just won the point without it. Why? You see what I'm saying? Like, what was the point in saving those ults for that long? They should have used them. They could have probably used them last fight and won. They didn't. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But they had these 2. I mean, the Earth Shatter, whatever. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked. But they had the beat online for so long, and they just like refused to use it. Which is fine if you know you're going to lose the fight and you're pulling out ultimates from the enemy team. But if you have beat online in this last fight that they had 30 seconds left. Imagine if they would have used beat. That fight could have kind of gone either way. Nobody used ultimates. That was pure skill is what won it for Corvus Gravity. Let's be real here. It was pure skill. It wasn't ultimates. Imagine if Firehawk just used his ultimate and just went in.
Yeah, it was that May wall, too, that found those 2 opening kills. I think they thought they had the fight pretty well in order and wanted to avoid getting grabbed at that point. Maybe saving the Lucio ult for grab. You got to remember, ult tracking isn't as perfect as we are when we can just look at them here. So they might have been expecting a bit of a grab that never came through. Not entirely sure, but they handily won that fight with that excellent Maywall there from Mythical. Just on the engage, they punished Blue Lunaris for being up just a little too far away from his team.
Yeah, again, Corvus Gravity, no ults were invested from either team. So that was pure skill. And I think that's what it comes down to. Mythical Cat, this goes back to our DPS 1v1s and their duels, right? Corvus Gravity is really showing how skillful their players are. Look at this. Look at this already trapping one of their players. Let's see if they punish.
And they can't quite punish. They trapped maybe a little too early at that choke as opposed to this next choke here. But it does seem like Culture is getting insanely low. He will go down to Lunaris. Lunaris will also go down to Wheels. Spark takes down Mythical Cat. It's always these two Ryans going down first as these teams just love to pump out the damage. It does seem like it's Agile Squids rolling through this first point pretty easily though. And we did see Corvus do the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is happening with both Reinhardts. I'm not even gonna call it a misplay here. I actually love the aggression from both of these Reinhardts. They're so aggressive. They just want blood, and I love it. I love seeing it. It was working out for them for the first two maps, to be honest. So I'm fine with them doing this. This looks great. It's great to see.
Yeah, aggressive play is pretty cool until it leads to a Maywall like that. Very good Maywall, but a very good anti. Hidden Squid with yet another huge anti. You see it in the kill feed. 5 kills off of that anti alone. Culture and Astro cleaning things up. Just
Not only
huge
the
play from Hidden
anti.
Squid.
The anti is great, but I also want to give props to Culture and Firehopper. I don't know who called it out, but somebody said, "Hey, go this way, right? Go left, left, left." Somebody called it out. Culture got out of that Maywall so fast. I love to see it. Let's see if it happens.
They are able to get around and help him out. He gets pretty low. He's not able to block the Shatter. He also has Shatter online. Whether or not he's going to be able to use it in this fight, I'm not sure. The freeze does come out, but is answered by the beat. Culture is down, though. This could be trouble here for Corvus Gravity. It might just be a stall game at this point. We see Fire Hot Bird and the Wheels just standing on point, trying to waste some of that time bank, which is still very big. 4.5 minutes now for the Agile Squids.
Yeah, and now they have 3 great ultimates coming into this last fight for this point. You know, they got beat. They're gonna be able to grab, and they're gonna be able to give Reaper a great setup here, right? So let's see what Corvus Gravity has to, and I think a nano on the Reaper is gonna be your play.
Yep, and we will have to see how exactly that play comes out. It's going to be a drop into the grab here with that Reaper ult. Wheels is able to eat some of it, but not before he gets demech'd. Lunaris and Spark follow up on those kills on that grab. It's going to be a pretty easy cap here, and now we're looking at a well over 5-minute time bank. The two Reapers decide, you know what, gentlemen's agreement, we're going to take a dive off the side here. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not entirely sure there, but both Reapers down. It's going to be a bit of a impasse here as both teams wait for the respawns.
Real unfortunate. I would have liked to see Hidden Squid use the nano early on the Reaper, let him get his ult up from the extra damage, and then use the Reaper will use his
Wheels with an absolutely impressive Hail Mary D.va bomb over the top. That's an easy retake for the team there. Sorry to interrupt you, but man, that was a nice bomb from Wheels. Very well placed.
No, you're all good. I saw it going over. I just didn't think it would connect. But now we got a full reset here on the point, and Ultimate Bank is about the same. Only thing that Corvus Gravity has to worry about is the Earth Shatter and the beat.
Yep, and we are going to see them worry about that here as both tanks get earth shattered here. That Maywall comes in. We do see the nano here, and it looks like Mythical Cat is pretty easily able to find 2 there with that Death Blossom. Culture pins Blue Lunaris to the wall, killing him. Firehot going to take out the King for good measure, and the last of Agile Squids going to have to back out here. Already a minute into this point, into this hold here. 2 pretty easy fight wins, I would say, for Corvus Gravity. The ults, though, finally starting to turn here for Agile Squids.
Yeah, now we got a grab coming online. Easy Mayall from Agile Squids. They should initiate with that Mayall. Maybe use the beat.
Both beats do come out after a great Maywall from the King. This time it's an ult in the back line. It's going to be a very quick, perhaps a stun there. The nano on the Reaper, though, still going to be able to find that, and a big anti on cart, this time from Blazing Angel. We've seen these Annas go back and forth here, finding huge play after huge play between the two of them. This time Blazing Angel's team able to get the upper hand. Rolling into his last point now, 3-minute time bank. There's going to have to be one impressive stall here.
Well, now Hidden Squid, you talk about May alts going head to head. Hidden Squid is the one with the May that has the alt. Put it on a culture, put it on a mythical, make something happen, but not with an early death like that. Not what we need to
Firebird maybe goes for a swim there. Jimbo gets his grav eaten, but it's not going to be enough as all the kills are just going the way of Agile Squids still. Just a bit of a stall on cart now. Not going to be enough, though. Oh, and somehow Firehot Bird, maybe it was a tactical jump off there as his respawn does come in faster than the rest of his teams. Hidden Squid just can't touch there, bouncing off the bodies. That's going to be round 2. And now, the best that Corvus Gravity can do is a draw. And the worst that Agile Squids can do is a draw.
Very fair. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tough one for Corvus Gravity. I'm not sure what the issue is here. Both teams making, not mistakes, right? I'm not going to call it mistakes because it's not. These teams are playing so well. Just doing such a good job. It's just ultimates, right? I really do think it comes down to ultimates because we've seen Corvus Gravity able to take the fight. No issues whatsoever. Like, hey, if you don't have ultimates and we don't have ultimates, we're Corvus Gravity, baby. We're winning. But when ultimates come into play, I just think they're not aggressive enough. And this goes for both teams, but really with Corvus Gravity, just be a little bit more aggressive with these ultimates, and I think they're going to easily win these fights. Because when you're aggressive with your ultimate, right? Like, if you're super aggressive with your ultimate, and this comes from, not only my personal experience, but also just being coached or whatever. If you're aggressive with your ultimate, it's going to force the enemy team to use their ultimates. And we've already determined that Corvus Gravity can win the neutral fight. They can win fights without ultimates. So if you just make everybody use ultimates, you're going to win. So I hope they kind of start to figure this out because I really do want to see us go into another map.
Yes, it would be nice to see some evening up of the series here. This could be it, though. This could be our last point of the finals. As we see this quick rotation here from the Agile Squids. They get right up in Culture's face and get a Maywall out very quickly, but the pin back from Culture. They're going to get Jimbo. Marcus, though, punishing Culture for that pin. A little too far. Lunaris goes down to Hidden Squid, though. Big headshots there from the Zenyatta. We've seen Hidden Squid be so valuable, and he's continuing it here, finding even more picks. That support line, Hidden Squid and Firehot Bird fragging out. Oh, the King with a cheeky Maywall to escape.
Did you see that? Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's a funny little play there, I gotta say. Astro thought he had him, and the King said, see ya.
I thought he was a goner. I love the aggression by both teams.
It is looking really good, except for that Mythical is able to pick the King there, and it's a flank now, but it's not coming in quick enough as Mythical's also able to find Jimbo. Big anti-nade comes in, though, this time from Blazing Angel. It's not going to be enough, though, as it's going to be yet another team wipe here for... Oh, my goodness.
I see an early coalescence by Firehot. That's what this team needs to keep doing. Do another one. Do an early trans. Do an early Echo Wall. Do an early Shatter. Just come on. Just do it. Just do it. Just commit. But now that they're running low on the time bank here, they know they have to stop Agile Squids from taking this point, and they only have a minimal amount of time to do it. They know they got to invest.
Yes, we could see some ults come out here this time from Agile Squids as they are playing it a little bit slower here, maybe trying to find some purchase. And that Maywall does come in. It's a good Maywall, but it's a better Earth Shatter followed up by a huge freeze. That is a lot of kills. That is just a fat team wipe.
This goes back to my thing. If you initiate with your ults, you'll probably win the fight. So now they need to do it again. Open up with the Echo Ult, and then support that Echo Ult with the Transcendence, and this might be a one fight. They're forced to do it because of the minimal amount of time that they have. It's amazing how Overwatch just works so much better when you're forced to do something, even in solo queue.
Yes, and talk about getting forced in here. That wall comes out. This time it's not going to get anything. The Earth Shatter, though, is going to get a couple. The Nano Reaper also comes out. This time it's too much. Hidden Squid can't get the Transcendence off quick enough. The beat also comes out. All of these ults getting used now for Agile Squids. It's just too much here for Corvus Gravity. Their backs are against the wall. This could be it right here. The D.va Bomb doesn't find anything. It's just Wheels left on point and Astro. Astro goes down. Wheels goes down. And this tick is it. We could have our champions here. That is going to be it.
A great match by both of these players. Very well played. I mean, this went all the way into overtime. I mean, that's pretty good. That's so close. Corvus Gravity could have probably held that. I mean, really, Agile Squids had to hold on to all of their ultimates to make that happen.
At this point, we are able to crown our champions of the Overwatch Pretenders Lower Division. It is the Agile Squids. Corvus Gravity, the runners-up, gave them a great fight. The only team to take any maps off of Agile Squids this whole season. And they gave them such a fight here in the finals. I was so glad to get to watch such a close match. Getting to see it go to 6 games, getting to see both teams really have their great moments, their great players. I think everybody who was in today had a moment where it was just like, oh, wow, that was a really good play. I love to see that, especially as a caster. It allows me to have stuff to get excited about.
Yeah, this was a very fun game to cast. It was a very fun game to watch, really. This really puts things into perspective as well, just how great the because I'm in the same rank as these guys. So just to see how great some of these players are, like Astro with his aim, I went to first person view on him, and it's just like, what, there's really great players all throughout every single rank. And Overwatch Pretenders, I think, is one of the only leagues that I have seen that highlights that, right? We have Upper Division, which is actually happening tomorrow if you want to tune into that, going to be on the same Twitch channel. And we also have this Lower Division. And if you don't know what that means, Upper Division is anywhere from Platinum up, all the way up to Diamond, so high Diamond, so basically at Masters you cut off. And Lower Division, that's what these guys are. Lower Division, right? That's Platinum and below. That's at the border of Platinum and lower. That's what we're seeing. Like, this is true Overwatch right here. This is Overwatch League is what, not even a percent, 2.2% of the player base. You don't get to see real players. You get to see them here at Overwatch Pretenders, baby. That's what we're seeing. Real players, our peers, real players.
They did put on quite the show tonight. I was very happy to see both teams really looking like they put in a lot of work. You know, you were talking about the rotations, you were talking about the way they used ults. You know, that last point for the Squids, they really had some discipline there. What they ended up doing was just saving up all of their ultimates for that last fight. So it really did turn out very well for them. We actually do now. We're happy to have an interview with one of the Agile Squids players, one of their longest tenured members, former position MVP, DPS MVP in the Overwatch League for Emerging Talent. Pretty impressive DPS player all around. We have with us the King. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Not bad. We got to watch a pretty good match tonight. How do you feel? You guys just won the grand finals.
Oh, dude, I'm psyched. It's really good, especially being down 1-2.
So,
Yeah.
I got a question. I don't want you to jump in on you, Chunk. So the King, this was my philosophy going into this the entire time. Did you ever feel like you were being pressured away from playing your strongest hero from Corvus Gravity?
Oh yeah, their McCree was nuts, so I just went May. They forgot that my May is also nuts. So yeah, chilling.
That's an age-old Overwatch strategy. When in doubt, just go the Mei. And your guys, I think the enemy Mei looked pretty strong. You looked pretty strong on the Mei as well. You're finding a lot of really good walls on that last map on King's Row. Just talking about, we were talking a lot in our cast about like the communications on those walls. What's it like when you hit a wall? Is everybody just like, go, 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 go?
Yeah, so pretty much if I wall somebody off, I'll just say Ryan and my team just echoes the call.
Yeah. That's
So,
really good.
But yeah, the communication is awesome. Like, the team is really well communication-wise.
Yeah, both teams were really rotating quickly. It was very impressive. You got another question though, Solid.
Yeah, I do. I got another question for you. Speaking of communication and comms and all that thing, do you feel, because I've watched a lot of Overwatch League, right? Do you ever feel like maybe, like, I know this is just like an amateur league. Do you ever feel like you're part of like a real team? Like, not like a real team. You are part of a real team, no doubt. But do you ever feel like you're like a pro at times? Like, this is how it feels? Like,
Moments
does
like
that
this,
thought ever go
yeah.
in?
Win a championship, of course it feels like it. It feels awesome. Like, the bonding's all there. The team's awesome. This is amazing. Like, what I do. I mean, that sounds like I have a job. That's not really how it is, but it's awesome.
I'm sure it's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, but I mean, you guys have been together as a team now for a while. I got into cast your games in previous tournaments and stuff. You've obviously, some members play for different teams. You've got some still playing for your team. Do you guys have any plans going forward now? You just won lower division. What's next?
Upper division.
Upper division, that's right. You're gonna win upper division next.
Oh
Of
yeah, man.
course.
Well, that is awesome. Congratulations again, the King. You looked excellent out there. Your whole team
Thank
looked
you.
excellent out there. Tell them congratulations. Super psyched that you guys were able to win. Corvus Gravity, you know, they gave you guys a fight, but you guys eventually, you guys sealed the deal, and that was really awesome to see. So, I think that's all we have for you tonight, the King. Thank you so much for joining us, though.
For having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And production. I have been Chunk. With me here has been Solid. You want to take us out, Solid?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Chung. Thanks a lot for joining me. I had a lot of fun streaming this and casting this with you. And if anybody else is feeling eager to cast, just like me, I'm nothing special. I'm not a pro. I'm nothing. I'm just a regular dude. That's my phone going off. Sorry about that. I'm just a regular guy that just, likes to cast and has fun doing it. It's a really fun thing to do. Please join us. If this is any kind of an interest to you, we can always use more casters, more production. That means being the camera guy, right? If you want to be the camera guy like you see in Overwatch League, this is your chance to do it as a hobby, like for fun. This is a great thing to do. Visit us on our Discord channel for Overwatch Pretenders. If you just want to tune into the match next time, same channel, same time. Actually, I think it's going to be at 7 for tomorrow. But Monday, we got the Upper Division Finals. Please come join us there. And always, come on. We could use more people. We could always use more people to come help us with production. It's a really fun hobby to do. It's just something. It's just fun. It's your favorite game that you love to play, but you get to be like a part of the background scene, right? It's just great. Come and join us, Overwatch Pretenders. Join us on our Discord. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our Twitch channel, which you're watching right now. And yeah, I think that'll sign us out. And